All right. Awesome. Well, how are you all doing today? I saw a number of you were on the Facebook Mastermind group, which is awesome. Are you looking forward to the training? Where are you calling in from? Awesome. A lot of people, someone's in Yukon, Tampa, all over. All right, guys. Well, hopefully you can see my screen now. And I'll go over to this PowerPoint session here. We are recording, so if you have to leave for whatever reason, that's fine. It will be recorded, and we'll render the recording and get it to you today. All right. So just a few notes. There are a lot of people on the call. Almost 100% of the people who signed up are live attending right now, which means that there's going to be a lot of questions, and that's fine. I'm going to answer every single one. But if for some reason I don't answer your question, it's probably because I missed it because there are so many questions. So either type it into the question box here or type it into the Facebook Mastermind group. And that's the first thing I just want to mention is make sure to join this Facebook Mastermind group. So I'll log on over to Facebook. So if you haven't joined this group yet, then you're going to want to go to facebook.com/groups/mastermind lookin. All right. And I'll copy this in the chat box down here. Okay, so definitely go ahead and join that periodically throughout the day. I will be adding everyone into the group, so you do need to be approved. Okay, so we're getting a ton of requests right now, as you can see in the bottom of my screen, which is awesome. Really good, a lot of familiar faces. So this is going to be really nice because at the end of the day, you're going to be able to ask me questions, but you're also going to get the benefit of the crowd. You're also going to be able to hear from your fellow members. You can see all the requests just coming in like fire on the bottom left-hand corner. But there's been a ton of activity already in there and already a lot of awesome feedback, a lot of people helping each other. So it's going to be really nice for you guys. So I'm going to confirm that. And again, like I said, I'll just give it maybe another 60 seconds and I'll confirm everyone again. And then throughout the training, I'll just continue to add you in there. Okay. So another thing I want to mention is once you join the mastermind group that I actually, let me find my post from earlier. I actually posted a resource list. And let me just pull it up and I'll pin it to the top here. Here we go. So pin post. And that should be at the top now. Just give me a sec. Okay. Okay, so this is basically the link, and I'll type it into the chat box as well, for a number of resources that we're actually going to be using during the training, all right? Primarily, that's going to be the super niche worksheet, which you're going to love, and then the 12 email follow-up series, okay? And throughout the training, I'll be uploading more resources, and I'll always make sure to either put it in the Facebook group or send an email out about it. Okay? So let's see here. Okay, guys, and if you didn't receive any information or for whatever reason you haven't gotten an email from me, I've tried to, I've sent out a dozen different updates. So in the in the Facebook group, either kind of mention that you haven't received an email. We'll make sure to send that out. Or email Brittany@brittanyLynch.com, which is our support desk, all right? And we'll make sure to get you added. So that's the first thing here. Okay, so definitely just email us at Brittany@brittanyLynch.com. I just put that in the chat box. That'll be the best place if you haven't received any email communication from me yet. It's probably because either the email's hitting your spam or something along those lines. So that's Brittany@brittanyLynch.com. So hopefully everyone can see that there. Don't put your email. What you shouldn't do is put your email in the question box because I will 100% miss that. So if you haven't heard from us, email Brittany@brittanyLynch.com. That's the best way for us to sort all this out, all right? Perfect. Okay, so I'll just add everyone here. Got a ton of people. Add you all to the group. Introduce yourself. Let us know why you're here, what you're looking to learn, and we'll get on with the training in just a second. Okay, so we're confirming that. It's just taking a second because there's so many. Okay. All right, perfect. So, okay, guys, let's go ahead and get started. It is being recorded. If I haven't actually accepted you into the mastermind group, I'll check back in a few minutes. But we do want to get started. So, the format of today is there's a lot of training. So today is going to be the longest day by far. I'm not sure how long it'll be, anywhere from 2 to 4 hours, I suspect, to get through the training as well as the questions. Again, one of the reasons why I wanted to put together the Facebook mastermind group is it will be impossible for me to answer every question because there's so many I might miss some, and that's why the Facebook group will be so good. So if for whatever reason I miss your question, ask it in there, and myself or another member will definitely answer it. So my focus is really to help you guys get results from this training program, and I'm looking forward to it. So today will be the longest day. Of course, we're giving ourselves 3 days to make that $2,000 profit. So the final day will be Monday. I scheduled training for today, Saturday, Sunday, and then we'll have a final check-in on Monday, and I'll send out a webinar sign-up link for that to just check in. Today will be the longest day, like I said, because we need to set up our infrastructure. And I'll go over what infrastructure that is in just a second. Tomorrow will be the second longest day because we're going to go over optimizations and a few other things. Sunday and Monday will be the shortest days by far. Okay, so let's go over what our goal is for today. And what I'll do is I'm going to stop at certain points and I'm going to take questions, all right? So I'll let you know when I'm going to take questions. It will really slow things down if I'm constantly answering questions, and it will probably confuse you more. I've done a few of these live trainings now, so I figured that that's the best formula. All right, and guys, the replays will be posted as soon as possible. It takes a few hours to render the video file because they're so large, but they will go out same day. So let's talk about our goal. So there's a ton of people on here who don't even have a niche yet. So we're going to choose our niche. So at the end of the day, we really want to focus on getting results from one niche and scaling that up into a much larger than $2,000 profit. We want to build this into a six-figure business. So we're going to talk about how to choose your niche. Then we're going to talk about how to select our offers. All right. So really, the name of the game is going to be, and I'll exit out of Facebook in a second so it's not so loud. The name of the game is going to be, finding it is testing, testing, and testing. All right. So today we're going to find a number of different offers, affiliate offers, CPA offers, t-shirt campaigns, and we'll go over this in more detail. But really, we want to set up a number of different traffic campaigns because we want to basically collect our data. So today is all about collecting our data, and tomorrow what we're going to do is we're going to identify the winners and losers and essentially cut our losses and scale up our winners. We're going to also set up an opt-in page to build our mailing list. At the end of the day, email list is still king. We really want to find a way to effectively grow a list of responsive buyers. And so we're going to talk about that. We're also going to set up our initial email marketing sequence. And so I've got a template. It's in the template resources that I put into the chat box. We're going to set up our initial email marketing sequence. And that's going to be a combination of building trust as well as actually linking to particular offers. So a combination of CPA offers and affiliate offers. So we're not actually going to be promoting a product that I have or anything like that on this training because, again, we're going to go into a niche I haven't been in before, and therefore I will not have any product. If you do have a product, that's fantastic. You can absolutely and should be promoting that. But if you don't have a product, don't stress out about it because at the end of the day, we are starting from scratch and I will not be promoting any product that I own. Okay, then we're going to go over how to create a list of user IDs, how to use Social Lead Freak, which I referenced to everyone in the emails, how to use Social Lead Freak in order to actually build a list of targeted audiences in order to match our ad. Then we're going to talk about setting up Facebook ads, of course. And then, of course, we need to start profiting. We have until Monday to make that $2,000 profit. So does that sound good to everyone? Okay, cool. And I just want to clarify one thing. I will get into this in a little bit more. But what CPA means is it's cost per acquisition. So it's a type of offer where you basically get paid $1 or $2 every time you get someone to opt in. Okay, and I'll show you an example shortly. Okay, awesome. So sounds really good. Okay, so let's talk about resources here. So first things first, like I said, definitely sign up for that Facebook group. Of course, we have a support desk. The support desk is Brittany at BrittanyLynch.com. So if you're looking for like a worksheet or you're not getting emails or something like that, Brittany@BrittanyLynch.com is going to be the best place. But if you have a question about technique or something like that, or you need some help on strategy, the Facebook group will be really good because I'll be there, as well as other members. At the end of the day, I'm not going to be on Facebook 24 hours a day. I'm on it probably too much as it is, but someone's always going to be online on that group. And so it's a really fast way to get your answers. And what I really want to emphasize here is these strategies really do work. It doesn't matter if you're a beginner or if you have a business, these strategies really do work. And so what I want to tell you is persistence beats resistance. So if you run into a trouble, or if you get frustrated, or if something's feeling overwhelming, post in the group or email us and just keep working at it, because these will work for you, but it requires you to do the work and you actually have to implement it. So just, please keep that in mind. Definitely follow along, implement what I say, and then if you have trouble, reach out and someone will always be there to help you. Okay. So download the resources. So in the chat box, I linked the zip file in the chat box down there. So download the resources. I'll be walking through each and every one of those on this call. Social Leads Freak. So I sent out an email about it. If you didn't get it, just Google Social Leads Freak. It's a really fantastic software tool. We're going to be using that a ton on the training today. All right. Trust Jacker. So Trust Jacker was something I sent out yesterday. So if you didn't check your email since then, check your email. Otherwise, Google Trust Jacker. It's a really cool tool. I'm going to be giving a number of different demos. It's particularly useful for Facebook advertising, because sometimes Facebook's not going to let you direct link. And I'll explain what direct linking means in just a second if you don't know what that means. Facebook. So obviously you need a Facebook account. If you don't have a Facebook account, please do sign up. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to use the social networking tools. I would suggest you join the group, but you need a Facebook account in order to run your advertising, okay? So I just want to give a little bit of a disclaimer about the terms of services in your account health. All right. So technically, some of the things that we're going to be doing with Social Leads Freak are against Facebook terms of service. So I want to clarify what that means. That doesn't mean it's illegal or it's against the law or anything like that. We're not going to be doing anything illegal or against the law. What it means is it's against Facebook's law, so their term of service. So technically, if they catch you on that, they might ban your account or shut it down. But the reality is you can always get another account. So don't live in fear that that's going to happen. I actually have not been banned yet ever on Facebook. And so, hopefully that's telling you something, that it doesn't happen all that often. It's certainly not at the beginning level. So keep that in mind, but I just wanted to be upfront about that. And I also wanted to clarify what that means by terms of service. Okay, so it doesn't mean that it's illegal or against the law. It's just that Facebook doesn't want you to do it technically. And you do run the risk of having your account banned. But at the end of the day, you kind of need to run that risk because you get such amazing results doing these things. So I don't want you to worry about that. Okay? All right, so I'm seeing a ton of questions coming in. I'm not going to answer them just yet. We'll get to a time where we'll take some questions. PayPal. So a number of the offers will either pay you directly to your PayPal account or to your bank account. You can generally choose which one you prefer, or a check. They'll send you a check too. So I'd sign up for a PayPal account if you're in a country that allows you to use PayPal. Otherwise, if you're not, don't worry, because most campaigns and most offers will pay you with a check or direct to your bank account. Offervault.com. This is an account. It's free. You can just sign up, and basically it's a really great resource for actually helping you find different products to promote. Again, at the end of the day, we need to promote products, whether they're your own or someone else's, in order to make money, right? And so we're going to go over all of that too. Okay, and then various networks. So different networks that I talked about, and I'll talk about some of the strategy about getting accepted to those networks in just a second. Okay, perfect. Okay, so let's start with a really common question. Where will the $2,000 profit come from? All right, so where are you actually going to get the $2,000 profit? And guys, I just want to mention again, the resources are in the chat box. Someone says I don't have the chat available and go to webinar. So if you go into the Facebook group, what I'll do is I'll post this link one more time in the top of the Facebook group so that you have it. So just bear with me. I want to make sure everyone has their resources. Okay. resources. Okay, so Keith, you should be a member. I think I already approved you. I think I already approved you into the Facebook group. So you should be a member and you can download them there. So if you could just confirm, then that'd be great. Guys, otherwise, definitely add the Facebook group. I'm going to accept everyone right now. And you can download the resources in there. All right? So does everyone have access to those resources either by the chat box or in the Facebook group? Okay, perfect. All right, so I just wanted to make sure you were all good on that. Again, I'll come on Facebook shortly and add everyone again. Okay, so let's go back here. Okay, so where will the $2,000 profit come from? This is a question that a lot of people have, and I hate to say it, but it really does depend. And the reason for that is because it really depends. Do you have a business or not already? If you're a complete beginner, we're going to be promoting a number of different what's called affiliate offers. So we're going to promote other people's products, and every time we make a sale of those products, we make a commission. Okay. However, if you already have a business, you're probably promoting your own products. Okay. In addition to that, there's a lot of different ways to make $2,000, and I just want to wrap your mind around this. Again, this is the foundation of making $2,000 in 3 days. Obviously, we want to scale up past $2,000, and that's where the follow-up webinars will come in handy. Okay, so let's talk about the different ways you can make $2,000. Okay, you can promote a product or an offer that pays out $1. So that's usually like a CPA offer. So when you get someone to opt into an offer, and I'll give you an example in a second, they might pay you $1. So you can get 2,000 people to do that, and then you'll make $2,000. All right, or you can get 1,000 people to take an action that's going to pay you out on a $2 offer. Or maybe you're promoting an affiliate product and the commission is $50. Well, you only need 40 of those sales. Or you need 20 sales at $100. Or 4 sales at $500. Or 2 sales at $1,000. Or 1 sale at $2,000. Okay? And so, really, when it comes to making money online, it's a game of simple math. You want to figure out, what are the products I'm promoting? What are they paying me to promote every time I make a sale? And how much traffic do I need? How is it converting? Okay. And so we're going to get into more of that tomorrow when we talk about optimization, but really is a numbers game, especially when it comes to traffic. And you're going to love the strategies that I share with you today because the traffic you're going to get is going to be very, very targeted. And I'm going to show you ways to get traffic even for free. But again, our focus really isn't on how little can we spend, it's on what is our return on investment, how are things converting, and how do we optimize and really scale up the winners. Okay. And it could also be a combination of any of these things. So like I said, if you're starting from scratch, you're going to start by promoting affiliate products, which is what I'm going to be doing during this training. Okay. If you have a business already, you might just be looking for new ways to drive traffic and you already have a funnel that you're promoting. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to pay for all of our leads. And so what I mean by that is every person who opts into our email list, we're going to try to cover the cost to acquire that lead by a self-liquidating offer. And so let me show you what I mean by that. Okay. So if I go to Google, and let's actually go to Offer Vault. Okay, so Offer Vault is a really great resource. We're going to go over this in a lot more detail in just a second, but I want to show you an example of a particular type of offer. So let's just Google calorie calculator. This is an offer I saw earlier. Calculator. And in the meantime, I'm going to go over to a network that I'm already approved for. And again, I'm going to go over all of the stuff in more detail. But for now, I just want to really demonstrate what a CPA offer is for those who are maybe a little bit more beginner. Okay. So let's see here. Okay. So just give me a sec. I'm going to open this up. And again, we're going to go over this. Okay, so what happens is every time we send traffic to this page and someone downloads this application, we get paid 90 cents. Okay, so every time someone downloads that application, we get paid 90 cents. So that's an example of a CPA offer when you're driving traffic and you get paid per action. Is that clear for everyone? And so what we're going to do is we're going to try to basically cover the costs. So if it costs us 50 cents to get a lead on our mailing list, we're going to try to pay for that immediately by sending traffic to these different CPA offers. Okay, and just enter yes if you can hear me. I just want to make sure that everyone can hear me fine. Okay, awesome. Okay, so that's making sense to everyone, so that's great. All right, so again, we're going to take questions shortly, but I just want to get through this stuff first. Okay, so I wanted to show you what a CPA offer is. Okay, so if we're able to do that, if we're able to pay for our cost per lead or cost to add an email to our email list right away, then we're in an amazing position to scale up quickly. Okay, so sometimes it's a really good idea to promote CPA offers, but you want to promote offers that aren't going to hurt the long-term trust of your list. Okay, because if we're able to do that, if we're able to cover our costs right away for our lead, everything else is bonus. Every other sale we make is going to be a bonus. All right. So long term versus short term income. So long term is we want to build our list and we want to focus on a niche. All right. So we're going to focus on one main niche today and we're going to build a mailing list in that niche. Now, really the profit from that niche or sorry, from that email list, we're not going to really get the full benefits from that for a few weeks until we really build a relationship with our list, until we really send out those 12 emails that I talked about earlier. So that's the long term focus. That's what's going to get us the 6 or 7 figure income. Okay. So we really want to build our email list and build it in a way where we're not recommending crap. Okay. I'm a really big believer and you have to treat your list like it's king. All right. You never want to promote shitty stuff to it because at the end of the day, they're going to unsubscribe and you're going to lose their long-term value. So you have to be thinking long-term when it comes to your list. But the short term, how we're going to make money is we're going to do it by direct linking. So what that means is we're going to send traffic directly to CPA offers or affiliate campaigns like ClickBank or JVZoo, and we'll talk about that in just a bit, or what's called the t-shirt campaign, and I'll talk about that as well in a little bit. So there's a difference between short-term and long-term income. Again, especially if you're new, if you have a business already, the difference might not be so big. Okay? So our ultimate goal is to work in a niche, one niche ideally, build a mailing list in that niche, and then ultimately have our own products as well as promoting affiliate products to it. But it's all about adding layers, all right? So I don't want you to go and get overwhelmed because at the end of the day, it's all about adding layers. You don't have to do everything at once. So if you're starting from scratch, I'm not going to recommend go create a product this weekend. It's just too much for you to think about. What I am going to recommend is let's build your opt-in page. Let's build your email funnel. Let's start driving traffic to it because that's the best first step. You can start making money doing that way, and you can do it in a way that's not going to get you overwhelmed. The less overwhelmed you are, the less likely you are to quit. Okay? Okay. So let's talk about choosing your niche. And before I do, I'll take a few questions here. So someone's saying that they're trying to get to the mastermind group, but it says the link's broken. It should work just fine because we've had about 400 people just sign up there. So try it again if you can. Make sure you're logged into your Facebook group. So Keith's is asking a great question. Should we be doing the exact same thing as you right now, or should we be using our own offer? I would definitely recommend you follow in a niche that you feel like you really want to build a business in. Okay, copying me isn't the best long-term strategy because you're going to be doing a bunch of work that you maybe don't need to be doing. Okay. So, for example, if I'm going to go in the weight loss niche and you have no interest in being in the weight loss niche, then I wouldn't suggest you go into it. All right. So, definitely choose a niche that you think that that's something you want to do. And I'm going to talk about how to choose your niche in a second. So, that's a really good question. Okay. So, we're going to talk about being accepted to networks shortly. So, don't worry about that just yet. And guys, the link to the Facebook Mastermind group is in the chat box for all of you. Okay. Okay, so we're getting a lot of questions about specific niches. We'll get into that in a sec. Okay, so here, let me give you the Facebook group link again. Just 1 second, guys, typing this into the box. Okay. So what I want you to do is I want you to open your resource file folder now, okay? Again, the resource file folder is accessible in the Facebook group or in the chat box. And I'll show you where that is again. And what I want you to do is I want you to select the niche worksheet, okay? So the niche worksheet is what we're going to be going through right now. And I will actually open that up on my computer so we can walk through it together. Okay, so we actually want to choose a niche together, and I know some of you already have a niche, so just bear with us. This might be a good way to kind of verify your niche anyways. Okay, so this is a really great process for choosing your niche, and it does take a little bit of time, but what you'll find is it's very, very comprehensive. All right, so first things first is we want to talk about finding a niche you actually like, and there's really two school of thoughts here. One is choose a niche you're passionate about, because at the end of the day, most niches can scale up into a 6 or 7 figure business. So, my recommendation is to choose a niche that you really enjoy rather than just any niche. Okay, a lot of people are like, oh, well, I'm going to go into the niche of dog training, but they have no interest in training dogs. I don't really recommend that sort of approach. So what I would suggest you do is go through this finding your super niche worksheet and take an inventory of all the knowledge that you have. All right. And even if you don't think you're an expert in anything, I'm going to talk about how to take the non-guru approach. So the niche that I think I'm going to choose for this actual training is going to be fat loss. All right. I'm certainly not an expert in fitness at all. And so I'm going to take the non-guru list building approach, and I'll talk about that when I'm building a landing page. So you don't have to be an expert. You can come across as your own personality. Okay, so go through this, and you basically want to list every magazine you've ever subscribed to for any length of time. Now, why would you want to do that? That's going to give you an indication of the interest that you might not even realize that you have. A lot of time, people take for granted the knowledge that they have, and as a result, they discount what could be a really good niche. Okay, so do the same thing for newsletters and any other publication you consistently enjoy reading, and just write those down. And then also write down every job or industry you worked in long enough to become really familiar, even if you've been out of it for a long time. So if you think back to high school, if you had a job for 3 or 4 years, write that down. Okay. Every group that you've ever been a member of. An example could be golf, Girl Scout, horsemanship, stamp collecting, whatever, coin collecting, doesn't matter. Whatever club you've ever been part of, the debate club, write all these things down, because these are all skills that, again, you might tend to forget. Okay, every major schooling, training, educational experience you've ever had. So if you went to school, where did you go to school? What did you go to school for? If you went to trade school, did you get trained as electrician? What did you do? Write those things down. Again, all of these things are going to help you form an idea of what sort of niche to get into. Okay, every hobby or interest you've ever had. So, literally the most obscure interests, write them down. So, again, if you had a hobby of knitting, write that down. Write them all down here. And what we want to do is we want to build a long list, okay? And then we're going to go through how to whittle down that list in just a sec. So, 5 topics you know a lot about that most people don't know you know a lot about. So, write those down. Okay, if you can think of anything, what do you know a lot about? Okay. Specific products, services, or experiences that have great familiarity with you. So, for example, maybe you're actually really good at building tree forts or wood sheds or fixing a washing machine. Okay, so write those skills down. Topics you own more than 5 books on. This is really easy for me. I mean, I own like hundreds of marketing books, but go into your bookshelf and see what books you own a ton on. Maybe you own a ton of books on read palmistry, okay, or numerology or whatever. Write those things down. Don't discount anything. A story of 2 major personal victories from each of the following: teen early adult, and recent adult. Now, why do I say this? Well, at the end of the day, I find that one of the biggest mistakes people make when they're choosing a niche or after they've chosen a niche is they don't incorporate their personality into it. A lot of people are embarrassed by their personality or embarrassed about their accomplishments or their failures, and really you shouldn't be, because it doesn't matter where you're at right now in your life. You can capitalize on that and you can be honest about that and you can work your real personality into your niche. And believe it or not, that's going to put you in a stronger position than not utilizing your personality in your marketing efforts. And we'll talk about that as we actually start developing it. Okay, so is this making sense to you guys so far? Perfect. Okay, great. So that's the first part, and I definitely would suggest you go through that, because what you'll find is it will really open your eyes up to a lot of different niches that maybe you weren't aware that you could get involved in. Like I said, a number of people really tend to discount the knowledge that they have because you're so familiar with it. Okay, I do this all the time with marketing. I'm like, oh no, I. I'm not going to teach this. There's no good information in it. And then I'm blown away by how much value people get from it because I've taken for granted what I know. Okay. So you know what you know, but sometimes you forget that other people value that information. And so that's why this is really helpful. Okay. So part number 2 is, now that you have all of those different things, all those different niche possibilities, what you want to do is you want to start the whittling down process. Okay. So you want to select your 5 potential super niches that you really like. So out of that list, which 5 kind of get you excited? And I use the word excited is because I genuinely believe that you should be excited about the topic that you're going to go and you're going to build a business in. That's, I guess, my personal preference, but I think that you're going to have more success if you're excited about whatever niche you're going into. So think about what makes you excited to work on it. And once you have those 5, then start going through this process. So part 2 is really the whittling down process. So I ask you, is there a dummies book? Now, why would I ask if there's a dummies book? Well, go to dummies.com. Dummies is a multi-million dollar business, okay? And so what they do is they spend a lot of time doing niche research on whether there's a market for the books that they release. And so if there's a dummies book on the topic that you're looking and going into, then it's a good sign. So you just mark yes down beside the super niche or the potential niche. And so it's basically a point system. And again, you do this for every single niche that you're interested or excited about. Are there Google ads on the topic? Now, why would I say that? Well, if you go to Google and you search weight loss and there's Google ads, that indicates to me that people are willing to spend money in order to drive traffic to their website. So that's not the be all or end all. That doesn't mean that they're all smart marketers and tracking their results, but likely it's a good indication. Okay. It means that there's competition in the marketplace, and competition is not a bad thing. Okay. It means that there's money to be made. Okay, and the last thing is, are there at least 5 ClickBank products? I would rather see 10, 15 plus, all right? ClickBank products or a bunch of different Amazon topics. And the reason is a lot of people make the mistake of going into a niche where they can really only promote one product. So for example, training your Rottweiler. Well, where do you go from there? Okay, what else are you going to promote to that category? So you need to think about the future and the long term. Yeah, we're going to make $2,000 profit in 3 days today, but really what's more important is the long term, the back end. What can we promote to our list in the long term? All right. So you really want to think about that. Okay. So again, this is kind of just me walking through an example. I've got images in here, more steps. Would you visit facebook.com? Is the audience reach at least 100,000? So if I go to Facebook and I want to create an ad, and I'll show you this in a sec. But we basically want to make sure that there's over 100,000 people on Facebook who are interested in that topic. Again, why do we want to do that? It's because we want to make sure there's an audience we can advertise to, okay? So I'll show you what I mean, exactly how to do it. I'm just going to enter in a dummy website for now so I can show you how to find audience size. Okay, so what I mean, and make sure if you're in Canada, make sure you add the United States because the population is obviously a lot larger. Okay, so let's take weight loss. Obviously, like, look, there's 41 million people, 782,000 people. That's a massive niche. But let's whittle down into something smaller, like chess. Okay, well, I guess that's not a lot smaller because there's still a ton of people. There's over 100,000 people in there. So if you start throwing out some niche suggestions, okay, start throwing out some niche suggestions, and let's see, soccer, skiing. So these are like activities. I don't know if they're necessarily niches. Survival, so that's a good one. Fishing, so let's add fishing. So you can see there's still a ton of people there. Golf, internet marketing, yeah. So breathing exercises, that's something like definitely more niche. Uh, but you'd want to qualify that a little. So life insurance, networking, yeah, learn Spanish. So let's see, learn Spanish. So you can see here. So there's just specific languages you want to go through here. Stained glass, that's interesting. Okay, so yeah, see, this is a good example of something that's very niche, but still has a good audience size. So that's interesting. If you are an expert in stained glass, that could be something worth going into. Okay, so you see what I mean here. You just go to facebook.com/ads/create, and you can basically see, is the audience size big enough? If it is, you want to go back to your niche worksheet and you want to just mark that down. Okay, so again, it's a whittling down process, and there's a point system below. Okay, if you run a search on the topic on Facebook fan pages, does the audience seem passionate? So let's actually go and try to find a stained glass page, okay? Stained glass. Here's a page about stained glass. Let's see, stained glass. Let's go to the pages here. So that's a TV show. Glass crafters, stained glass supplies. Let's take a look at this. So you basically want to see if there's like a lot of comments or activities, okay? If there's not, then that should be a little concerning. Maybe there's not enough interest. So I don't see a ton of activity in here, but at the same time, it's a pretty small niche. There's not a ton of people who like it, okay? So let's go to another example, maybe raw food. So raw food recipes. Okay. So this is a really good example. This person posted this 29 minutes ago, and they already have 29 people who shared it, 61 likes, and a bunch of comments. So to me, that indicates, again, that it's a passionate niche, that people are interested in it, and they're really, really active, all right? So let's go down here. Are there forums on this topic? So you would go to Google. Okay, and you would search, let's see, well, raw food forum. Okay, so you can see there's a ton of different forums. All right, so that's a good indication that this is an active niche. Okay, and then what you want to do is you just want to rank. Okay, and then the last thing is list all the potential products that you can sell in this niche. So for example, raw food, it's pretty obvious you would sell not cookbooks, recipe books on raw food. You would sell juicing recipes. But maybe what's not so obvious is you would also sell fitness products, okay? Because people are concerned about their health. So you want to think outside of your box, and you basically want to make a list of all the potential products you can sell so that it's opening you up to thinking about the big picture and not just the here and now, okay? You want to make this into a 6 or 7 figure business, you need more products to promote. So hopefully that's making sense. Okay, guys, and this is being recorded. I know a few people are saying I can't log onto the Facebook group, I can't get the resources. They are in the chat box. We will send a follow-up email with these resources, so don't panic. Just follow along and listen to it. You will get a recording. You will get access to all this stuff. Okay? So do you have any questions about the niche selection process? I'll take a few questions right now. Okay. Okay, so I'll try to slow down my talking a little. Someone's saying I'm talking a bit too fast. Again, this will be recorded. Okay, so someone's asking, should we go through this now or should we go through it tonight? Okay, that's a good question. You can follow along now, but I would suggest just listening now. And then if you have questions, you can ask them and you can follow along tonight. Okay, so someone's asking about competition. How do you know if a niche is too competitive? Okay, I don't really believe in too much competition. Now, if you're just starting out, I can understand that could be overwhelming, but competition indicates there's a lot of money to be made there. So don't worry about saturation and don't worry about competition. That's I guess, a good problem to have. So Constantine's asking, are there any niches to avoid? And that's a great question. And the niches to avoid are obviously the ones that don't make it past this system check. All right. So you want to go through this. There's a lot of questions about, is this a good niche or is this a good niche? Well, the best answer to that is by going through this niche selection process. It's very, very thorough, and I guarantee if you make it through this process, the niche is good. Yeah, so someone's saying seems like something I might need an hour to work on, and that's absolutely right. So I'd suggest you do it tonight. Don't rush through it right now. Um, you will get access to these recordings as well as the worksheet, so you can go through it a little later on. So that's not a big deal. But yeah, you don't want to rush the niche selection process. At the same time, you don't want to drag it on. There's a lot of people who've been choosing their niche for like a month or two, and be honest, enter yes in the question box if you've been dwelling on choosing a niche for a little while now. Okay, you want to give yourself a deadline. So give yourself a deadline of an hour or two to go through this process, but make a decision after. If you're struggling on what to choose, post a message in the Facebook group. Okay. So James has just made a really great point. So he says, if I'm doing a niche like fishing, you can make more specific niches like lures, strategies, kinds of fish, not guides. Absolutely. And so that's an example of wanting to list something. List all the products that you could potentially sell. Cheryl's asking a great question. Can a niche be too broad? And the answer is yes, absolutely. Again, marketing is a game of drilling down. You want to be as specific as possible. So let's take weight loss for an example. If you're going into the weight loss category, I wouldn't necessarily recommend that you try to attract both males and females. Okay, so today I think I will go into the fat loss category, and I'll talk. And again, like I said, I'm not an expert by any means in that category, but I'll focus on females rather than both male and female. Another thing is, more than it just being too broad, I find people are a little too boring. So what I mean by that is I get a lot of people saying, well, I want to go into the yoga niche, okay? And so what they do is they come up with an idea of 101 yoga tips. Well, why would anyone want to buy that from you? Or why would anyone be interested in learning more about that when they think, oh, well, I can just Google that? Okay, so you want to make yourself different. And one of the ways you can make yourself different is by incorporating your personality, speaking to your experience in that niche. So let's take the weight loss niche. So, for example, I once had an experience of losing 20 pounds of fat and gaining 7 pounds of muscle in a 30-day period. And so that's from my own experience. And yeah, I was really disciplined throughout that. But I can use that as a unique selling position for me to leverage myself in the weight loss niche to make myself stand out. So instead of just saying learn more about weight loss, I can talk about learn how I had this specific experience in this specific category. And so, more than anything, the one of the bigger mistakes people make when they're choosing a niche is not just being too broad, but being too general, okay, and not really making it unique. And that's why I say I think using your personality is really the best way to kind of give yourself a unique selling position. Okay, so Mohammed's saying, how do we check if a certain niche has sufficient Google ads on it? Well, that's really easy. You just go to google.com and you Google weight loss or whatever your niche is, And you can see all the ads, right? You can see all the ads here. And you can see there's just a ton. Okay? So as long as there's like 2 or 3 ads at least, that's a good sign. Okay. So someone's asking, is internet marketing too wide of a niche? Again, you just want to think about it from a selling position. What are you going to be teaching them, all right? Or what are you going to be talking about? So there's two approaches. There's the one, the expert approach. So I'm going to be an expert in internet marketing. I know how to teach a specific type of strategy. And yeah, you would normally want to niche that down into search engine optimization or paid ads or Amazon. Okay. The other approach is I'm not an expert in this niche, but enter your name and email and follow along as I undergo a year-long quest to become an expert at internet marketing and make $10,000 a month. Okay. So that's the different position. So the non-guru list building approach is, just coming out and telling them, hey, I'm not an expert, but what I'm looking to do over the course of the next year is to become a wealth of information. And so over the course of the next year, I'm going to be collecting all the best resources that I find. I'm going to be testing all the strategies, and I'm going to be sharing my results with you. Okay? Does that make sense? Okay, great. Okay, so guys, let's see. I'll take maybe 3 or 4 more questions in this niche selection, and then I'll keep going. And again, I'll be taking questions throughout this, and we'll have a specific question period at the end of the training where I'll take even more questions. Um, Okay, so this is a good question. Are any niches more expensive than others, or do they depend on scraping audiences so it doesn't matter too much? So that's a really good question, and we'll talk about that when we talk about the Facebook ads. Honestly, using the scraping technique and using the technique of really narrowing down your audience to only people who are actively engaged, I don't really find that it's too expensive in any niche. Now, that being said, you will pay more in the weight loss category, you will pay more in the internet marketing category and those really big competitive niches. However, that is generally overcome by the return on investment. Your return on investment is often larger or greater in one of those more competitive niches. So it's all relative. And so you need to really get out of the mindset of what do things cost and what is the relative return on investment. Okay. You want to think about it like that rather than, what is this costing me? You should really be asking, what is this making me, or how can I make this make me money? Okay, let's see here. Okay, so guys, there's a few people asking about specific niches. What I would suggest you do, if you have a specific niche idea and you're not sure about it, post that in the Facebook group. If you're having trouble getting the Facebook group, we'll send an email about that later, so don't stress out about that. Post it in the Facebook group, and what I'll do is after this training is done, I'll go to the Facebook group and I'll make sure that I'm answering questions as much as possible and give my real feedback. Um, okay, so I'll take one more. So a lot of people getting concerned about saturation. Don't worry about saturation or competition. What you should be worried about is, how do I make myself so unique or so special in this competitive niche that people want to listen to me? And like I said earlier, that's often done by personality. Whether you think you're really successful or really really have failed a number of times. So let me give you 2 examples in the internet marketing category. Um, so number one is, okay, I've made X number of dollars in the last X number of months. Follow me because I'm so great and you can learn a lot from me. Okay. The other positioning could be, I've spent $10,000 in the internet marketing category and I still haven't made any money. But I'm so determined to make this work that over the course of the next year or whatever time period, I'm determined to make X number of dollars in X number of months. So follow along as I go out of my way to make this happen and tell you what to avoid as I, cut the learning curve for you. So do you see what I did there? I took someone who's by definition a failure and someone by definition who's a success, and I made them both into marketable people. Okay. And so that's where personality is really awesome. A lot of people saying, hey, that's me. Okay. Okay, so someone's asking a good question about, would you recommend more information products versus regular products you have to mail physically? Honestly, I'm not going to say don't recommend physical products to your list, but what you should know is obviously the margins in an information product versus selling a physical book are a lot higher. So you'll make more profit, but there's pros to physical products as well. Okay, I'll take one last question here, and then what I'll do is we're going to keep going. Okay. Okay, so someone's asking more about, less about niche selection, more about products. Someone's saying, can you make enough promoting Amazon products for the short term? Promote, unless you own the product, it's tough to make a lot of money on Amazon in the next 3 days because you only get like between 5 and 15% commission. Whereas if you're promoting affiliate products, you're going to get between 50 and 100% commission. So it's just a lot easier. Okay, cool. So someone said, great example of the non-guru method. Thanks, that's very helpful. Um, so Leanne says, you're blowing right by me. I missed the whole Facebook search for niches. Guys, at the end of the day, this is recorded, so you're able to go back. So that's the best thing I can say. I will answer more questions if I missed your questions, because there's a lot of them. But I'm trying to find the ones that are the most impactful to the most number of people. If I miss your question here, it's not. It doesn't mean I'm not going to answer it. It's just I'm not going to answer it right now. So you can still ask it. I'm still going to answer it either here on the Facebook group or via support. So don't get overwhelmed by that. Okay. So we talked about choosing your niche. Okay. So make your niche interesting. That's what I talked about, using your personality. I really think it's important. If there's one thing you can write down here about choosing your niche, it's incorporate your personality whenever possible and really capitalize on your knowledge or your lack of knowledge. Don't be embarrassed about who you are or what you're trying to do. Use that as a positive. Turn, like, a key to any copywriting is turn any negative into a positive. Okay. So if you're broke, if you're poor, then make that a positive. Talk about how you're going to just defy all odds and become unpoor. I know that's not a word. All right, great. So a lot of people like the non-guru approach, and I think that that will really help overcome a lot of the niche selection process for a lot of the newbies here. Is I think that sometimes you get stuck because you feel like you're not an expert in anything. The reality is you don't need to be an expert in anything. Just be honest about it. I really think that if you're honest in your marketing efforts in whatever niche you are, and if you're true to yourself, people will respond to that. Okay. All right, great. So, a lot of people saying good things here, so that's great. So, one niche versus multiple niches. This is another thing. People get so excited. They're like, $2,000 in 3 days. Well, if I do that 10 times in 3 days, then I'll make this many dollars. Well, I always think you're going to make more money by focusing on one niche rather than multiple niches off of the get go, okay? I'm going to make a small exception today, and I'll get into that in just a little bit. But really, I would suggest focus on one niche and not multiple niches. I think that that's really crucial. Okay. And choose a niche with multiple offers. This is a really big other mistake that people make, is choosing a niche where there's only one product or two products to promote. You need to think about the years to come, and you need to think about the lifetime value of your customer. Okay, so those are some really big takeaways I think are going to be really helpful for you to choosing your niche. Okay, like I said, if you have further questions about this, I'll take them towards the end of the call, or email me at brittany@brittany.lynch.com, or comment on my fan page. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to choose a fat loss niche for this for the next 3 days, and I'm going to build a business in this and hope to make $2,000 profit in the next 3 days and scale out from there. Okay, so we need to choose some offers. Now let's talk about choosing your offers. There's many different types of offers promoted out there. And what do I mean by an offer? All right. Like I said, in order to make money quickly and at all, if you don't have your own business, if you don't have your own product, you need to promote other people's products and you get a commission from that. Okay. So every time you promote a product and you make a sale, you get a commission. And I'll show you what that means shortly. Okay. We're going to promote a number of different products over the course of the next 3 days. CPA products. We're going to be promoting those. So that's what I showed you earlier, where someone actually downloads a particular product. And let's see here. Hold on one second. So where someone actually downloads something. And guys, I just want to make sure the internet connection is good. So just give me 1 second here. Okay, good. Sorry about that, guys. I've got like internet paranoia here. Okay, so CPA offers. We talked about that earlier, and that was really all about directing traffic to an offer that will pay you $1 or $2 every time someone takes an action, whether it's downloading something or opting in their email address. Okay, and the reason why I like those offers is the conversion rate tends to be higher. So if you're sending traffic to an email, or sorry, if you're sending traffic to an offer page, what do you think someone is more likely to do more frequently? Enter in their email address or pull out their credit card? Okay, the answer is enter in their email address. So if you can get paid to get someone to enter in their email address, it's a low-hanging fruit. Now, I don't like to rely on just that. I like to also promote other types of products. So I'm going to go over how to find affiliate products in a number of different categories. If you have your own product, you can promote your own product. We're not going to be focusing on that today, but you're gonna be able to plug that in as well. Amazon products. I wouldn't go out of my way to be promoting Amazon products this weekend or in general unless you own the product on Amazon. And again, that's because of the margins. The margins are really low. Okay, we want to focus on something that we can generate a lot more income from. T-shirt campaign. So I'll talk about that towards the end of the call. Okay, there's a ton of different networks. All right, so we're going to actually go over this. We're going to start finding some networks, and I'm going to go over what types of networks and which are positive. Okay, so ClickBank. So what types of networks pay and when? Okay, so ClickBank, it actually varies. You can actually get paid weekly and get your money wired direct into your bank account. It just depends on different thresholds you reach. JVZoo is a network, and I'll show you all these networks. It's an instant payout. So you get paid out into your PayPal account the second someone purchases, and that's really cool. It's always really nice to get the cash right away. Ad Angler and Max Bounty are different CPA networks that I applied for, and the payout time varies. All right, the more frequently you're making sales, the faster they'll pay you, usually a week or two. Teespring, which is a network I'm going to get into towards the end of the call. Again, that's an instant payout. Okay, so how do you find offers? Offervault.com is a good place to start. So let's actually go ahead and find our offers. Let's see here. But before I do that, let's talk about what I'm going to promote here. So I'm going to promote, this is generally what I'm going to do. Again, today is really about finding our offers, setting up our ad campaigns so that tomorrow we can identify our winners and our losers, cut our losses, and scale up. So I'll probably do about 10 direct linking trust jacker campaigns. And let me just give you an example of what that means. Okay, so I recommended trust jacker to you guys. So one of the reasons why it's good is because if you want to send traffic directly to an offer on Facebook, sometimes Facebook doesn't let that go through. They'll stop you. So this is why this is such a nice tool. So this is an example of trust jacker. Okay, so I'm going to go to this website here. Okay, so the nationalsource.com, that's a website URL that I bought. But you will see Search Engine Roundtable. I'm sure many of you have heard of this before. This is a very well-known, credible website within the internet marketing community. And you can see there's an article on cloaking ads and why cloaking is really good. So I'm sending traffic to people. I'm sending my traffic to this article. But really, what I'm sending the traffic to is when people try to go leave, you get this message. It says, "This is a live demo." Looks like we were getting an audio issue here. Okay. Can you guys hear me fine? Static. I hear the static too. That's better. Okay. Okay, good. One of the perks of live training, right? Okay, so this says, when I went to leave the page, it says, this is a live demo of the Better Than Cloaking tool. Get it now for just $39, okay? So the ad, of course, messaged, and some of you, especially if you're from Greg Davis's group, you probably saw that I had an ad on Facebook that said, Better Than Cloaking, and then it was an ad particularly talking about cloaking. I sent them to a landing page or an article about cloaking, but really what I want them to do is to direct them to this offer. Okay, so it's just a roundabout way. So you're basically stealing the trust from Search Engine Roundtable because it kind of makes it look like Search Engine Roundtable recommended that product when in reality I'm recommending it. Okay? So we're going to go over that in more detail a little later, but I wanted to give you an example of what TrustJacker does. But it's just a really cool method to borrow trust from websites, as well as to get around the no direct linking on Facebook, and it's got really good conversions. Okay, so I'm going to exit out of that. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to maybe set up about 10 of those campaigns where I'll find articles on a particular topic, and then I'll find products that match that article topic like I just showed you. I'm probably set up about 10 campaigns like that. And then I'm going to set up about 10 to 100 individual micro-targeting campaigns. So don't get scared by 100. These are really easy to set up, and you're going to think these are awesome. They're so cool. And we'll talk about that towards the end of the call. One t-shirt campaign, one campaign to opt-in page. So what that means is I'm going to promote that opt-in page to grow our mailing list. And really the goal is to test, and then tomorrow identify the winners and the losers and scale up. Okay. Okay, so we've got a question about TrustJacker. Someone's saying, should we get the TrustJacker Blogger Edition, in which automates links to do monetization? Don't worry about that. You know, I would say that just the basic version is fine for now. Okay, someone's got a great question. Are we only selling to people after we get them on our list? Okay, and I'm going to go over that. The answer is no. We're going to be selling to two types of people: the people on our mailing list, and then these other campaigns that we're setting up. Okay, let's see. Okay, so I'll leave those questions for now, and I'll get back to the rest of them in a little bit. Okay, so let's talk about finding our offers. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go to offervault.com. Okay, so this is a really great website, OfferVault. And what it does is I suggest you sign up. It's a free account. What it basically does is it aggregates all the different offers out there. Okay, so it aggregates all the different offers. I'm getting a little bit of audio. I'm just going to mute the other organizer here. So let's take weight loss. So if I go ahead to OfferVault and enter in the term weight loss and press search, what it will do is it will pull up a list of all the different offers and tell us which networks they're on. Okay. So you can see here I entered in the term weight loss, and these are all different offers that are in the weight loss category, and it tells you what they pay out, whether it's a sale or a lead. So if you make a sale, you make $62, and what network actually hosts that offer. Okay, so depending on what niche you're in, I would suggest you go here and use this as a way to determine what networks to sign up for. And from there, you can actually click. So I'll show you an example. We'll click on this offer. And you can actually see that there's a button that says join network. So that will actually take you to joining the network. Okay, so a number of people had questions about how do I join networks? What if I don't have a website and that sort of thing? So we're going to go over how to build an opt-in page on Unbounce today. So you will have an opt-in page or know how to build an opt-in page by the end of today. So you will have a website. So what I would suggest you to do is you can join a network. And honestly, a lot of people say they've got problems joining networks, but you really shouldn't have any problem if you enter in an email address. What I would suggest you to do is try to join the network. And then what will happen, especially like Max Bounty, what will happen is they'll send you an email right away saying, hey, we got your application. Here's our number. Here's your affiliate manager. And I would actually just call them up right away and say, hey, can you look at my my application and are you able to approve it right now? And so they're generally able to actually approve that instantly. So you shouldn't worry about that. It is Friday. Some networks are closed over the weekend. So what I would suggest you do, if you haven't joined some networks yet and you do want to promote some products over the weekend, apply for the networks before the end of the day today so you get approval. If you don't, it's not a big deal because networks like ClickBank or JVZoo are instant approval and you can promote their products. So these are just certain types of products. Is that making sense? All right, fantastic. So getting a lot of yeses. Okay, good. Okay, so let's go back here. So like I said, let's see what sort of offers are available in the weight loss category. Yeah, so Colum, and hopefully I'm pronouncing your name right. How do you know you're not promoting a crappy product? Really, the only way to know you're not promoting a crappy product is to actually purchase it yourself or ask for a review copy. That's kind of really the only way to know it. The other thing is if you don't want to promote or if you aren't if you don't want to purchase it yourself, try to make sure there's a refund policy. So at least your customers can get a refund. But I would suggest you review it yourself, especially if you're looking to be in this in the long term. You don't want to promote bad products. Okay, so great. Okay, so let's go through here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the payout. I'm going to just get it to switch the other direction. So it's sorting by lowest paying offer to highest paying offer. And you can see there's a ton of different things. So there's a lot of different offers on here. Okay, so you can see right here where it says lead. This means that this offer is paying you for every lead you get them rather than every sale. So some offers will pay you like $20 or $30 if you make a sale. Some offers will pay you per lead, okay? And we kind of want a combination of the two. So the two networks that I'm actually going to use primarily, QCPA networks that I'm primarily going to use today are Ad Angler. That was really easy approval, and Max Bounty. Okay, again, both of those are very easy to get approval on. You just need to call them up and say, hey, this is my website. Again, I would suggest don't sign up until you have an opt-in page and let them know that you're going to be promoting their offers through your email list. All right. Okay. So let me go to Ad Angler here and I'll log in. Okay. And in the chat box, I'll write the names of the networks, Ad Angler and Max Bounty. And I'll also, once the training is done today, what I'll also do is I'll go on the Facebook account, mastermind group, and I'll add all that stuff. Okay. So, you can see basically it depends on the campaign. So with Ad Angler, which is one network that we're going to go through, and I'll go to the Max Bounty now. So with Max Bounty, most of the offers you're automatically approved for. So once you're approved for Max Bounty, you can basically promote any product that's on their network. But with Ad Angler, you actually have to apply for each one. So I'll show you an example. Okay, so let's just Google weight loss here. Okay, so let's take a look at this one. Okay, so if you scroll all the way to the bottom, you can see it says offer application. I literally just, usually what I'll do is I'll just say, I have an email list and am planning on promoting this offer to my mailing list. And I'll literally just copy and paste that to every single offer and you'll get approved. It usually takes anywhere from 2 to 12 hours to get approved for an offer. Okay. So, so that is that. So basically, let's search for some campaigns, and I'm gonna pull up. We've got Max Bounty here. I'm also gonna pull up ClickBank. Got ClickBank here. So guys, ClickBank is a network. It's free. You get instant approval to ClickBank. So at the very least, sign up for ClickBank and you can see on the left-hand side, this is where you can find all your offers. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select health and fitness because we're looking for weight loss products. And I'm going to, instead of searching for popularity, I'm going to search by gravity. Okay. And you can see right here, gravity is an indication of how many affiliates have actually made a sale of this product in the last 2 weeks. So the higher the gravity, generally the better it's converting. At the same time, the higher the gravity generally means the more people have purchased the product, which means that that sometimes can hurt your conversion rate because they might already have the product. So just because it's the number one doesn't mean you have to promote it. You could look for something a little lower on the list, especially if the gravity is still above 100. So something with like $128. So for example, if I'm going to be doing fat loss for women, cellulite is a great offer. So let's take a look at this sales page here. Okay, so it's just a video sales page. And so what would happen is on ClickBank, you just want to select promote right here. And then basically this is your account nickname, okay? And you can add a tracking ID if you want. We'll get into that in more detail a little later. So you just select create and that gives you your ClickBank ID. So I'm going to go over to an Excel spreadsheet that I've created. I'm going to call this the cellulite offer. That's from ClickBank. Okay. And then I'm going to enter in the link. And this is just so I can keep all of my resources really, really organized. Okay. So I'll share the spreadsheet with you so you can follow along exactly. And guys, what I'll also do is, it's not going to be instantly. It'll take some time, but sometime in the next, 10 days or so, we'll go through all of the training videos and also do a step-by-step PDF or something as well, so that it's very clear and very concise. Okay, so someone's asking, can I throw the ClickBank link with the product page into the chat? And I'll just copy that here. And guys, I just want to make sure you can all still hear me okay. I know it's been going that I'm still asking for verification, but I just want to get a yes or no. Okay, it seems like audio's come back, guys. Sorry about that. This is one of the downsides of the live training is if the internet goes out, obviously I go out too. So just know that it won't impact the training. Everything's still going to be recorded. We're obviously going to make sure the internet's working. There's a bit of a snowstorm here, and unfortunately I can't control the weather, so that might be impacting the internet a little bit. But you know, I didn't miss anything. I did notice that I went out. So you can see I've got speed test in the background. All right, so lots of positive feedback here. Sorry about that, guys. I'm in Canada, so it's snowing here. Okay, so like I said, I think the last thing I left off, and correct me if I'm wrong here, is I have a spreadsheet here of my different offers. Because we're going to be promoting so many different offers, I just like to keep it as organized as possible. So I will enter in the affiliate URL one more time for the product that I'm going to promote into the chat box, okay? And also I will send out this spreadsheet to everyone as well so that you can take a look at this and really follow along. The last thing I said before the audio went out was I'll actually, as soon as we get the recordings, we'll actually go through and create a step-by-step guide as well so that you don't just have the videos, but you also have the PDF as well. Okay? Okay, so that's one ClickBank offer. I call it the Cellulate offer. I put the tracking URL here. Okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to ClickBank and we'll just find a few more offers, maybe 4 more ClickBank offers. Okay, so just logging back in here. And again, going to Marketplace, I'm going to go to Health and Fitness. Okay, so old school, new body. I've looked at this product before. It's pretty cool. So again, you can see the sales page here, which is kind of cool. And again, I just press promote and get the URL. And then copy and paste it onto my affiliate sheet. Old school, new body, ClickBank, and enter that in. Okay, so again, someone's asking a good question about, promoting quality products. How do you know which products are good products to promote in order to enhance your reputation? So at the end of the day, you really would want to review the products before you promote them, okay? You'd want to buy them, you want to go through them individually, and probably what I'll do is after we get off of the call, I'll go through each of them, but it'll take another hour or two to basically go through the products thoroughly. So that's the only surest way to do that. Okay, so we'll choose one more. The truth about fat burning foods. Yeah, so what gravity means is it's basically a reflection of the number of affiliates in the last 2 weeks who have actually made a sale of that product. So this product, 92 affiliates have made a sale, 92 different affiliates have made a sale in the last few weeks. So that's an indication that this offer is not just converting for one person, it's converting for a lot of different people. Okay. So let's see here, promote, create. I'm going to go back here to the offer sheet. And what one was this called? Truth about fat burning foods. Okay, and this is ClickBank as well. Okay, so we have a few good products. Actually, one other column that we'd want to add is price. So you just want to kind of keep an idea on this so that you have an idea of like how much everything's costing. So you would make $30 commission here. So that's commission, $30. Okay, so cellulite is $38 commission. And then we've got one more, old school new body, so that's $25.90. Okay, so we've got a few good ClickBank products here. Again, if you want to really be sure you're promoting good stuff, you really should review it, and I would recommend that. Okay. So that's ClickBank. So we've got a few ClickBank products. We talked about how to find offers that we know that convert. Obviously, Gravity is a good indication of that because it's converted for a number of other affiliates before. So that's one really good indication. Now, one thing I should mention is not all categories will have Gravity as high as 110. So something that's more niche, like maybe knitting, might have a Gravity of 6, and that might be really good because it's just a less competitive marketplace. So it is relative to your niche. And if you have questions about that, enter that into the Facebook group, and I'm happy to answer that, or get your fellow classmates to answer that. Okay, so that's ClickBank there. The next network that we'll go to is, let's go to Ad Angler or Max Bounty. So one of the cool things about CPA networks is you're going to get, if you go to the home screen, and this is a new account I signed up for this morning, actually. Literally, I submitted my application this morning, and I got approved this morning. And that's because I called Bashan directly, and I said, hey, Bashan, can you please approve my application? He looked at my application. He said, okay, great, I've approved you. And then one of the nice things and one of the resources that I would definitely suggest you take advantage of is actually calling your affiliate manager up and say, hey, I'm in this niche. What products are converting really well for you in the weight loss category? And so he'll actually tell you which products are converting well, and he'll help give you some information. So if you start to develop a good relationship with your rep, it can be really helpful. So guys, hopefully this isn't going over your head. I'm going to simplify what we just did. First, we talked about choosing your niche. We went through the niche worksheet. So that's definitely step number one. After today's call, you're going to want to get off the call, go through the worksheet, and determine what niche to choose, okay? If you're struggling, you can ask questions either to the support desk or on the Facebook group. Step number two was you want to find some offers to promote, okay? Don't worry about finding the same number of offers I'm going to promote this weekend. Just start by giving yourself assignment to find 3 products to promote, okay? Whether it's from ClickBank or from one of these networks. And again, OfferVault's a good resource for that. All right, so that's where we're on in step 2 right now. So we're just finding our offers. Is that clear for everyone? Awesome. Okay, so I'm just trying to simplify it as much as possible for you guys. Okay, so let's see. I came on here and I entered weight loss and I pressed search. And the campaign that he told me was converting really well, and that was a good product, was this Garcinia bean one. 5724. So it was, 5722 was the one. So he actually just suggested click on this. And what you can see is every time you make a sale, you make $52. Okay. So that's pretty cool. So every time you get someone to actually submit their information, you get $52. So down below here, it says select creative type. So if you're emailing your email list, it will actually give you some like email information and subject lines. But usually I like to write my own email because, again, it's all about building a relationship with your list and trust-based relationship with your list. Okay. And I've got an email, a series of 12 emails we'll go over shortly on how to do that and how to kind of sub that information in, how to add it to Aweber, and so on and so forth. Okay. So I would usually just select, let's see, search here and select get tracking code. And that will actually, again, give you your tracking code. So what that means, if I put this in the question box here, if someone goes to that link right now, we'll actually start getting tracked as clicks. And if someone purchases that product, we will actually, again, get a commission for it. So I'm just going to put this in here. This is Max Bounty. Okay. And what is the name of this? Garcinia Direct. Okay. And again, I would suggest you go to the landing page, you review the products before you promote them, because some offers will convert really well, but some offers will piss off your list, okay? So you got to be a little bit careful. And so guys, there's a few questions coming in about how are we promoting these products, okay? So offers like this, like Garcinia Direct, and let's actually go to that page and see what it looks like. You're going to have a really hard time sending Facebook traffic direct to this offer. And the reason for that is Facebook's kind of really got their backs against the wall for these kind of like gimmicky offers. However, if you have an email list, you can promote whatever you want to the list within the confines of I'd only promote products that you really believe in. Okay. So for example, Garcinia, I've heard a lot of great things about it. I've heard some not so good things about it. So you kind of have to use your discretion as to whether, you know, you believe in the science behind this and kind of be upfront about your list with that. So Dell's asking, how soon will this video be available? It's going to be available right away. It will take a few hours to render the video. Okay, so someone's asking, I don't have an email list. Are there other ways to promote this? Yes, and so we're actually going to start building our email list in just a second. Mark says, I've used Garcinia and it works. Okay, so there you go. Like, you know, you don't want to promote products that don't work to your list. And yeah, and Dita's saying, can you use Trust Jacker to mask the offer? And yes, and so I'm going to be showing you how to do all that stuff. So guys, don't get ahead of yourself. We're on step 2, which is finding offers. Step 3 is going to be build our email list. Step 4 is going to be using Trust Jacker, okay? Okay. So just going through a few of the questions here. So the recording, I'll send an email out with the access to the recording. All right, good. Okay, so that seems to be the questions about the Garcinia and finding offers. Okay, so again, it's really a process of just finding the right offers to match to your list. So again, we're going to be promoting a product on weight loss because we're going to be building an email list on weight loss. Okay, so you want to find good offers to promote to your email list. Now, there was one offer that I saw earlier on the Ad Angler network, and it was a calorie calculator that I showed you earlier. Now, one of the reasons why I want to promote this is because when I was in the States last week, I downloaded it. It's actually pretty cool. And what I like about it is you get 90 cents per conversion. So every time someone downloads that calorie calculator, you actually get 90 cents. And so it's really low hanging fruit. And so why would I want to do that? Well, 2 things. And this comes back to the non-guru list building approach. So on your opt-in list, at a certain point, we're going to have to give out what's called a lead generation gift. Okay, so on our opt-in page, we're going to say something like, enter your name and email and get your free calorie calculator or whatever it is. So you can actually use this as leverage, and then that will actually increase the opt-in rate to this offer. Okay, so you can actually use CPA as your free gift, and then you'll actually be able to make back a lot of your income you spend on building your mailing list. And I'll do a live demo in just a second. So you can see this is our link down here. I had to apply for this application. It's pending right now. I applied this morning, so I'm sure it'll get approved shortly. So just make sure you're using your specific tracking URL. For now, what I'll do is I'll just copy this URL in here, and I'll make a note that I want to actually make sure I get my tracking URL. Get mine. And then it's 90 cents. And that is Ad Angler. Okay, and that would be calorie calculator. Okay? And so that's what I like to do. So that's the general strategy. Steve just said very clever. Yeah, so it's all about kind of offsetting your costs off the get-go, so everything else is a bonus. And plus, if you're taking the non-guru list building approach, you might not have a lead generation tool or a lead generation gift, in which case capitalizing on something like the free calculator is a really good way to actually increase your conversion rate on your landing page while actually making a return on investment right away. All right, cool. So we're getting a lot of good comments about that. Okay, good. Okay, so again, you just want to keep going through ClickBank, going through Max Bounty, going through Ad Angler, or whatever networks. Guys, I can do another example if you want on finding an offer, or I can go to the next step. So at the end of the day, I will probably find a few more offers and build campaigns around them, but at a certain point, it does get a bit competitive. So we'll go to the next step for now, okay? Okay, great. So we're getting a lot of people saying next step. Okay, so we've got our offer. So we've chosen our niche. We found our offers. Let's go back to our presentation here. We've gone over a lot of the stuff, and we want to build our landing page. Okay, so there's two real strategies around that: unbounce.com and WordPress. So if you've seen my presentation before, unbounce.com is a fantastic resource. That's actually where we're going to be building our landing page. Okay, we're going to build our landing page to build our email list on unbounce.com, because it's a very no technology solution. However, in order to use TrustJacker, we're going to have a WordPress account. It's really easy to set up, and I'll walk you through that step by step. So let's go to unbounce.com right now, and let's actually build our landing page. Okay, so this is unbounce.com. As a reminder for everyone, this is a free, there's a free 30-day trial. There's a free 30-day trial to actually build your landing pages here. Why I like this is because it's all been split tested before, so you can feel pretty confident that you've got a good core infrastructure where you can build, you can see I've got a ton of pages here, where you can actually build a landing page really fast. So I'm actually going to select, and what I would suggest you use for your initial lead generation is the click-through minimalist desktop light. And so I'm just going to name this page fat loss, or yeah, fat loss. Fat loss. Yeah, you can name it. I could name it calorie counter as well. So save that. Okay. So here, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to enter it. I'm going to switch. So once you get in here, it's all a WYSIWYG editor, which means you can literally just click and it will respond to your touch, so to speak. So I'm going to change this headline to enter your name and email to get access to the free calorie counter. And then I might change the sub headline to something more personality based. Plus, discover how I lost 20 pounds of fat and gained 7 pounds of muscle using this one free tip. Okay, I can increase the size if I want. You can see right here to, whatever size that I feel looks good. 24. So that's good. Okay. And then I'm going to delete this image and drag and drop the image right here. Okay. And what I can do is I can actually upload an image. So what I'll do is I'll go to Google Images, and just give me one sec. And I'll go to Google Images and I'll Google woman. Because again, we want to appeal to the female demographic. So we're going to focus on female demographic primarily. So you just want to find a healthy looking woman. Now you can press search tools or more. Let's see. Search tools, more tools, type. Where is it? Let's just go back to Google for a sec. I'm just going to search for the Google Advanced Image Search, which is the same thing. It just got slightly more options. So I'm going to search woman. Only difference is I'm going to select usage rights, and I'm going to select free to use, share even commercially. Again, it's just like a legality thing. You don't want to get sued for an image. I mean, like that would really happen, but I'm just kind of being transparent about what you should probably do. Okay, so I'm going to select Advanced Search. Yeah, so Josh has a great question saying, if we're taking the non-group internet marketing approach, what kind of picture should we use? Should it be of ourselves or someone else? Ideally, you should use a picture of yourself. And so maybe what I'll do is after I'll go through my computer, I'll try to find an image of me before versus after and kind of display that. Okay, so that's kind of like a good scenario. A better scenario would be to actually have a video, but that's kind of, it's all about adding layers. That's a bit more of an advanced step. So let's just Google maybe fit woman. Sure, this girl's fit enough. But you don't want her to be too pretty either, because that can be threatening to some girls. So this is actually a pretty good photo because she's fit and she's not looking at us. Save image as fit woman. And let's go back here. We're going to select upload new image. I'm going to select the fit woman here. And it's just going to upload. And there we go. I'm going to select choose. And there we go. So now we just drag and drop. Okay. So it's pretty easy. Then we're going to delete this button because we actually want an email form. I'm going to drag this over here. I'm going to select email. I'm going to select done. Okay. Email done. There we go. And then this is where you would add, so if you have an existing business, you can add your testimonials, but because you don't have an existing business, you might want to just get rid of that again. And it's literally just a matter of deleting. And then you can add a benefit. So first awesome feature. So let's say lose weight up to 20 pounds in days. Okay. Close. So I'm just, again, you're speaking to your personality. So guys, this is speaking from my experience. It's not because I'm an expert at fitness. I am definitely not an expert, and I cannot emphasize that enough. But you're really just talking about your experience here. So if let's use the internet marketing example again, and let's say you're just a failure. You haven't made any money yet. You would say something like, enter your name and email to follow along in my pursuit of making $10,000 a month by X date. And one of the benefits might be, I will curate all the products that work and don't work and recommend them to you based on real results, and so on and so forth. So you're just tapping into your personality. What unhealthy foods you can still eat. And again, you just delete that. And then let's see, what would be another benefit? So lose weight up to 20 pounds in days. Find out what unhealthy foods you can still eat. And let's see. How to exercise. Let's see. How to gradually increase your exercise without feeling like it's hard work. Actually, this is something that actually did work really well for me. It sounds made up, but I did actually find this one strategy made a big difference for me. Okay? And I could delete this or add more information about myself. Hi, my name is Brittany Lynch. Okay? So guys, you're just following the template. Okay? So I might introduce myself a little bit here. So Sandy's saying, I don't understand. Are you building an information product? No, what we're doing is we need to build our mailing list. Like we talked about earlier, there's two strategies for making money online. One is the long-term method of building your email list. Two is the second strategy we're going to get into a little later. But at the end of the day, you need to build your email list. Okay, so we're building an opt-in page where we can actually start to build our email list. Does that make sense to you guys? And Seth says, I can create advanced landing pages on my own, but do you suggest keeping them pretty plain and simple with not a lot of bells and whistles? Yeah, so just to the point, you want to just tell them why they're here and what they're going to get by opting in. They honestly do not need to be pretty. I was looking at a friend's landing page in the dating niche last night, and his landing page isn't pretty, but he's doing awesome. Okay, so Rebecca says, do I have to purchase a domain and hosting for Unbounce? No, you absolutely do not. And someone says, would you add a person's first name? Again, it all depends. I mean, the goal here is really to increase conversion rate. So I don't go out of my way to collect people's first names. There's an argument to be made for collecting people's first names, but I don't at this point. Okay. So I'm just going to write a quick bio here. Hey, my name is Brittany Lynch. And last month, I discovered a method where I lost 20 pounds of fat and gained 7 pounds of muscle in a way that I never thought possible. I've been struggling, losing weight, and getting in shape all of my life. Okay, I've been struggling with losing weight and getting in shape all my life. And nothing, let's see, and nothing worked until now. Sign up, and I'm looking forward to sharing my journey with you and how you can get the same results. So guys, I'll give you the URL to this landing page, but you can literally copy this story but plug in your information for whatever your niche is. You basically want to relate to the audience and let them know, hey, this is my journey for discovering how to lose weight and or learning to fish, and I was not good at learning to fish before. I could never catch a fish, and then all of a sudden I started catching fish, or whatever, right? So you can copy along here. So close that. Okay. And we don't have a logo, so we'll just delete that. Okay, and you can actually change the background. So if you want to change the background color, that's just done here. So maybe because it's like a girl audience, you can choose this. And you just want to play with it, right? So I won't go into this too much more because I don't want to beat it to death, but you literally, it's just drag and drop and you can play with it. You can play with the colors. It doesn't have to be plain white, but this type of thing will convert and it will get opt-ins. Yeah, so Gerardo says not pretty, but effective. Exactly. Someone says I spelled weight somewhere. I spelled it wrong. I'll go back and I'll look over it, but yeah, so someone says, can you just copy that paragraph? Yeah, you can. Someone saying I have a typo. I'll go back and I'll look for it a little later on if it doesn't catch my eye right away. Oh, here it is. 2 G's. Okay, cool. So what we do is we press save in the top left-hand corner, and then top right, it's still saving. I'm gonna press exit, and we're gonna select publish page. So we're publishing the page right now. It says hold tight. It should be live in just a few minutes. So Lisa's saying, would you make it bilingual? No, I wouldn't. I would just focus on the English language. Charles says, you're asking for the name, but you don't have a field for the name. That's a good point. I'll go back and edit that and say enter your email, not your name in your email. It's just a force of habit. Okay, so now this page is live. So let's actually take a look at it here. Okay, so you've got our page, and we can kind of toggle between this and the editor and kind of drag things around, change it a little. You know, check back at this page a few times today. I might tweak the colors a little bit, but you saw the tool. It's really easy to use. If I make any changes, I'll post a message in the Facebook group so you can see it. So it's basic, but basic works, okay? And you can see I incorporated my personality, which is something I would encourage you to do as well. All right. So what we want to do, last thing here, is we want to scroll down and we want to connect it to our email list. Of course, we want to build our email list. So guys, for the sake of this demonstration, I'm going to be using Aweber. There is a free $1, sorry, not free. There's a $1 trial for a month. And what you can do is you can just go to aweber.com and you can sign up. You do have to enter in a credit card or PayPal address, and it's $1 to try it for a month. So I'll take a few questions here. So someone's saying, where are you capturing your email? Do you use an outside email program? Okay, so this is exactly what I was about to answer. And yes, I'm going to use Aweber, and I'm going to build my email list here. Okay, Anita says, where did you get that image, etc.? You might have missed it. It was on Google Images. That will be on the recording as well. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to ScreenFlow here and just make sure. I've got 4 people recording this, but because I'm always concerned about that. So we'll just have an extra recording here. So with Unbound, which plan do you recommend we sign up for? Just always sign up for the most basic plan. A lot of people think when they spend more money that they need everything, but you don't. Just sign up for the basic plan. Yes, you can link this to Infusion. You don't have to use Aweber. I'm just going to be using Aweber as an example. James has a question. It's about offers earlier. He was saying, does OfferVault have something about conversions like gravity? So generally, OfferVault is aggregating the different CPA networks like Ad Angler or Max Bounty. And so with those, it's best to call your ad rep and basically say, hey, what are the offers that are converting the best, and develop a relationship with them. So that would be that version of gravity. Someone's asking, do you believe in double opt-in? I mean, generally you do get a higher quality type of person, but I'm going to go with single opt-in for this example. Okay, so just a lot of questions about, should I use GetResponse, blah, blah, blah. Guys, it doesn't matter what email provider you use. I'm going to use Aweber. You can choose Infusionsoft. You can choose GetResponse. I'm just going to use Aweber. Okay? And someone's asking, are we going to have a break at any time soon? Yeah, we'll take a break in about 30 minutes, and you guys can grab something to eat or something like that. We'll just keep it going a little longer here, okay? So we'll get the landing pages up, and we'll edit our emails. After we edit our emails, we'll take a break before we actually start setting up our ads. Okay, so let's go first to create and manage lists. So whatever email provider you use, I got to log back in. Whatever email provider you use, you should be able to create a list. And so you just want to name it, whatever the purpose of that list is. So for example, this is a fat loss list we're going to build from our opt-in page. So I'm going to select create and manage list. I'm going to select create a list. I'm going to name it, let's see here. I'm going to name it fat loss Facebook FB opt-in. And then the description, you just want to tell them where they opted in. You opted in on my fat loss landing page. You want to make sure you provide a from information and provide, your business address or whatever it is. So 46. Or your personal address. I mean, I wouldn't suggest you use your home address. You can just, use something from down the street, but I wouldn't use your personal address. And then save settings. Okay, and then I'm going to select confirmed opt-in. I'm going to shut this off. It decreases conversion rate a little bit, and I'm going to select save settings again, okay? And then now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to Unbounce, and I'm going to scroll down here. Scroll down. This is the page that you arrive on after you publish your page, and I'm just going to select Aweber. And you can see it's loading right here. Send leads to your Aweber list. It's really easy. Okay, and use a different Aweber account. Okay, so you just select connect with Aweber. So James is asking, what did you turn off on Aweber? And I actually turned off double opt-in. So what that means is if you've ever signed up for an email list before, you get an email that says, would you like to confirm your email? Yes or no. Okay, so that means that person's not added onto your list until they confirm their email address. The problem is a lot of people don't confirm their email, so it decreases the amount of people you can market to. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select fat loss Facebook opt-in and select complete. Now, anyone that opts in there is automatically added onto this list. So that's pretty easy, isn't it? And guys, again, you don't have to use Unbounce. If you want to use WordPress, that's fine. If you want to use another format, if you're technology, if you're good at that stuff, you can use it. But this is just so straightforward. So someone's saying, why would you use double opt-in if it reduces signups? It doesn't necessarily reduce the conversion rate on the opt-in page. It reduces the number of people who actually sign up, like are confirmed on your mailing list. And I guess the reason is because at a certain point when your mailing list gets so big, you want to focus more on quality, not on quantity. And therefore, every email you send out costs a certain amount of money. And so you only want people who are the most qualified. So that's kind of the medium length answer. Does that make sense to you, Colin? No problem. Okay, cool. So that's done. So we've chosen our niche. We found our offers. We've built one of our landing pages. Okay. So what we would want to do next is we're going to build a WordPress page for TrustJacker. And actually we'll do that after we set up our email links. So hold on one second here. Okay. So actually what we'll do is we'll go to, we have to buy a domain for this, and it's going to be really easy. So I'm going to go to Bluehost. Bluehost is a provider that I use. You can use HostGator or GoDaddy or whatever you want. Bluehost I just find has really good technology support. So again, if you're not very good at the technology side of things like I am, this is a good provider for you. So you want to sign up. I think it's like $7 a month or something, and you get a free domain. So it's not going to cost you a lot of money. You don't really need to touch it except for if you want to buy another domain or something like that. So we'll actually buy a domain. Okay. And what we're going to do is for TrustJacker, and let me give you an example of what TrustJacker is again. So if you go to the nationalsource.com/cloaking, this is an example of TrustJacker. So the nationalsource.com is a website that I purchased, right? I try to use something that's generic that makes it sound like it's kind of like a news station or something along those lines. However, what we're doing is what they're landing on is a search engine roundtable. So that's a very popular website within the internet marketing space. Okay. You could also use Oprah, or you could use the New York Times. You could use any of these things. And so you're sending traffic to this credible sort of news location, and you're sending them to an article that's related to the offer you're going to promote to them. So you can see that this offer is about cloaking ads. All right. And so I'm promoting a product on cloaking. When I go to leave this page, a pop-up says, this is a live demo of the Better Than Cloaking tool. Get it now for just $39 here. So I select OK, and now it redirects me to the actual offer. So what this actually does is it opens up more targeting options for us. And so we actually get to borrow the trust from Oprah or from New York Times or from what other website we're sending it to, because in the person's mind, Oprah just recommended this product to them, or the search engine optimization company just recommended this product to them. Okay, so you're kind of borrowing authority a little bit. So it actually helps with conversions. Plus, often if I had tried to send Facebook traffic directly to this page, what would happen is Facebook wouldn't approve the ad because it automatically starts playing the video, and they don't like that. However, they will approve what's an article because it's very low threat. Does that make sense to you? And of course, I would get a commission every time someone purchases this product. Okay, great. So Samuel says, so we're sending all traffic to the cloak page. No, not all traffic. Right now, we're just setting up the different pieces of the puzzle. I'm going to get into how they all fit together in just a sec, okay? So just bear with me here. I know that there's a lot of information coming at you, but we're going to piece it all together slowly but surely today. Okay, so Rebecca says it makes sense, but seems a little complicated. It's really not, and the reality is, if you want to make money on the internet, these are all things you're going to need to do, no matter what. Okay, no matter what you do, you're going to have to do these things. So let's go back to WordPress here. Where did it go? Here, Bluehost. Okay, and we want to basically buy a domain. And I'm just going to see if the national news source is available. So you want to find something fairly generic. Okay, cool. So that's available. So that's great. And I'm going to select next. I'm going to select automatically renew. I don't need the privacy. I'll agree. Add to cart. Yeah, and if you already have a domain, you don't need a new domain. I'm just showing you this because I told you to be step by step. I'm going to select change payment. I'm going to just pay with PayPal here. Yeah, so we'll get into the different methods of how you can use TrustJacker shortly. Okay, so scrolling down, accepting and paying, and this will redirect us back to Bluehost. And there we go. Okay, so we've got our domain, so that's perfect. So now what we want to do is we want to select manage, and we want to just install WordPress. Like I said, if you already have a domain that has WordPress installed, then you're all good here. You don't need to do this as well. So we just scroll down to the domain that we just purchased. Okay, so the national news source, it says unassigned. We just want to assign that domain. Again, this is all fairly standard stuff. I know there's a lot of people who are very beginner. Don't let this overwhelm you. This is something you're going to have to do regardless. So just follow the steps and you'll be fine. If you have problems, just send me a message. I'll help you through it. Assign this domain. Okay, and it's just assigning a domain. Sometimes this just takes a second. So I'll take a few questions here while that's loading. So Allison says, so an example of how you could use TrustJacker is you could send them to your blog post, and when they exit out of your blog post, you can offer an affiliate offer. Absolutely. That's a great example of how you might use it. So James is saying, do you always need to send Facebook traffic to an article instead of a video? And the answer is no. You can also send it to a video. It doesn't have to be an article. But the video, the ClickBank offer that I was directing the TrustJacker link to, it was too gimmicky for Facebook, and so they didn't approve it. Okay, perfect. So now that the domain is assigned, what we want to do is go to our cPanel. Okay, so that's at home. And just select cPanel here. And this is where we're going to install WordPress. And I'll do a recap shortly. And again, like I said, I'll provide step-by-step. These are all just the different pieces of the puzzle that we need to make this work. So I'm going to select search for WordPress. Here we go. So it's just going to the WordPress install area. And sometimes it just takes a second to get there. It's loading it up. Okay, so someone's asking a great question. In what circumstance will we need to use WordPress instead of Unbounce? I just find building a landing page, so building your opt-in page on unbounce.com is a lot easier than doing it with WordPress. However, with WordPress, what we need it to use TrustJacker, and I'll show you what I mean by that shortly. So it's just going to install. It's just going to take about 2 seconds. Okay, so great question. Dita's asking, please ask, why did you buy this domain if you're promoting weight loss products? Well, if you know you're just promoting one category, you could specify like the weight loss source or something like that. However, I'm just trying to keep it streamlined for people as much as possible. If you want to use it in multiple niches, it makes sense to choose something that is a little more broad. Okay, let's see here. The national. Just looking for it here. So that's not showing up there. Just give me 1 second. Paul says, you own about as many domains as I do. Yeah, I've got a lot of different domains, but you only need one. Awesome. And Allison actually just found an unbounced coupon code, so I'm going to enter that into the chat box here. So this is always, sometimes the C panel is a bit slow, so just bear with me here. So someone's saying, can you use another blogging platform instead of WordPress? Actually, TrustJacker is a WordPress plugin, so you do need to use this. Okay. So Charles says, can I create a subdomain install WordPress instead of TrustJacker? Yeah, absolutely. So I'm just refreshing my page so I can find this domain. It didn't look like it loaded before. Alexis is saying, why do I have so many? And you say you only need one. I've had this account for years. Like I've just tested so many different strategies over the years that I've accumulated a ton of different domains. So pay no note to that. So Dave says the domain is there. You just missed it. I saw the national source. It was actually a different domain that I selected. So it's not the national source. It was another one. So Anthony says the reason we're purchasing the domain is to redirect for the purpose of flying under the radar with Facebook. Yes, that's exactly right. Okay. So we've got the national news source here. It's not showing up below for some reason, so I'll just install it here. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select check domain. Actually, I'll just rewrite over this. The national news source. Okay. So it'll just be a second here. Okay. So someone says, does our success weigh heavily on the domain name? No, not at all. Don't spend a lot of time worrying about that. That's really unimportant right now. That's why I just selected something kind of random. So again, it's just installing it. Just will take a sec here. Okay. So it's starting the install process right down below. Yeah, so John's saying even if Facebook does click on the link, they'll get directed to the national news source. Yeah, that's exactly right. Caroline says, what is the Mojo Marketplace? Honestly, I have no idea. Don't even worry about that. It's just where we're installing WordPress. It's all free to do here. John says, haha, you are live. This is exactly right. So maybe what it's doing while it's installing, I'll do a recap of what we've done and why we're doing this, okay? So we've chosen our niche, and that's going to be part of your homework assignment tonight is if you don't have a niche, you're going to want to choose a niche, okay? The second thing is we chose some offers both on ClickBank and on a number of different CPA networks, okay? The third thing we did was we built our unbounced landing page. Now we want to send traffic to that unbounced landing page to build our, to basically build our email list. And then number 3 is we're actually using TrustJacker, and that's just going to help with conversions over time. Okay, and you'll see all this come together, guys. This is a live training. You can see everything that's required to actually make the $2,000 in 3 days and scale up from there. So hopefully you're enjoying it so far. It is a live training, so there's some things are slow, some are fast. So I'm gonna have to change this password because you've all seen it now. Okay, so I'm just logging into to WordPress here. Okay, great. So now we're in here, and what you want to do is you should all have invested in TrustJacker already, and I've got that here somewhere. Just let me find it. Lots of pages open. Here we go. Okay, so TrustJacker. So first things first is we want to download the TrustJacker software. So here it is. It says download TrustJacker. Okay, so now we've downloaded it. We want to go back to our WordPress, and we want to go down to what's called plugins and select add new. And then select upload. And then we want to find the TrustJacker zip file that just downloaded to our computer. There it is. And select install now. Awesome. Brian's saying, I'm loving it here, very excited. Anthony said, my brain just exploded all over his keyboard, laugh out loud. Awesome. Yeah, guys, and Dave's saying a good point. If you want, you can always get someone on Fiverr to do this, but it's really not that difficult. Like, it's a lot of information coming at you, but it's not hard. You can do it. Lorena is saying, this training is killer. I'm excited. Glad I saw your training with Greg. That's awesome. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Okay, cool. So the plugin is now activated, and you can see down here it says TrustJacker. And I believe it just used the email that you purchased with, which is Brittany@BrittanyLynch.com. Okay, awesome. So now it is activated, and I think it will redirect in a sec. Perfect. Awesome. Okay, so now that it's installed, this is the easy part, guys. So let's take one of our products on Cellulite, okay? So we know we have a product on Cellulite. Let's go to Google, leave this page, and let's try to find an article. So what do women look up to and respect? Who's like one of their big gurus? Well, Oprah is definitely one of their big gurus. So let's Google Oprah Cellulite. And we want to find an article on Oprah about cellulite, okay? So get gorgeous legs, how to get rid of cellulite, something that's informative, okay? Because we can borrow this trust from Oprah. The cure for cellulite, seriously, okay? So now what we do is we copy this URL here into TrustJacker. Let's see. Okay, so we'll name our campaign, we'll call it cellulite. Choose a tracking word, we'll call it cellulite. Destination URL. So this is the Oprah article, okay? So then what we want to do is we want to go to our Excel spreadsheet and we want to select cellulite down here. This is our cellulite offer. And enter in a link here. Okay, and then what happens is when someone goes to leave, they get a message. We'll say, before you go, please take a look at this special offer to get rid of your cellulite. And I'm going to select save. And okay, so now we have this domain here. So we can actually test this URL. I'll open up Firefox. I'll usually like to open up a different browser. Okay, so we'll open up Firefox and we'll go to the national source. nationalsource.com/cellulite. And then there we go. We're going to Oprah's page. I accidentally navigated up top. And basically, let's do that again. National source cellulite. And it will redirect to this article here. Cellulite. For some reason it's just, we'll preview it in here. Okay, so I think the audio cut out there for a second, but you didn't miss anything. So Anthony said, Oprah just became my best friend. Yeah, so you can see the power of the trust jacking. It's a really cool little tool. So the national source, so let's actually preview this here. Okay, so it takes you to this Oprah page, and then when you want to leave, something comes up and says, hey, are you sure you want to leave? It's not doing it right now because we're on the same domain and my Firefox isn't working, but this link should be working just for you guys if you actually go to it yourself. Okay, cool. So let's recap here. So step 1, we've got our niche. Step 2, we chose our offers. Step 3 is we built our landing page to collect our email list. Okay, so we want to do 2 things. We want to build our email list, and then we want to make that short-term money. Okay. Now what we'll do here is we'll go and maybe we'll take, there's a few people asking to take a bathroom break. We'll take about a 5-minute break here. I'm going to go grab some water. You guys can go grab some water or whatever. And then what we'll do is we'll write our emails, upload those, and actually start our Facebook campaigns and start putting the pieces of the puzzle together. All right. So just so you know, again, questions if you're confused or if you're overwhelmed or whatever, or if you're loving it, send us an email at brittany@brittnylynch.com or on the Facebook group as well. All right. So we'll take a 5-minute break and we'll come back soon. All right, guys, just enter yes if you can hear. 5-minute break. Also, let me know your comments if you're loving it so far. If you're confused, let me know, and we'll come back in 5 minutes and happy to answer your questions, and we'll get started. Hey guys, still here. Audio still working. Just grabbing a glass of water. We'll be back in 3 minutes and keep going from here. Okay. Okay, so guys, I'll repost all the links now in the chat box again. Let's see. The link to the Facebook group. Before we get started, facebook.com/group/mastermind looking. And then I'll also post to the resources as well. Okay, there we go. Cool. Okay, good. All right, guys. Well, welcome back. Hope you got your water. So I'm going to recap what we've done so far, and I want to reiterate that we're basically putting together all the pieces of the puzzle, all right? So we're building all the pieces, and then you're going to see how they all connect together. So bear with me as we do this. I also want to emphasize that, you know, these are all the key components of what it takes to build a six-figure business online, right? This is what you need to do no matter what strategy you use, you're going to need all these things. And so I'm just trying to show you the comprehensive full outlook on how to put them all together. And we're going to get into that shortly. Okay, so first things first is we chose our niche. And again, if you haven't chosen the niche yet, that's going to be one of your homework assignments. Number two is we also found our offer. So we went to offervault.com and we used that to figure out where there's different offers online on the internet. Okay. And we basically created a list of the different offers we want to promote. And like I said, I would really suggest that you promote only products that are really good, high quality products. And that would generally require you to review them. Okay. Step number three is we built our unbounced landing page. So we're going to be sending Facebook traffic to this landing page here. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be building our mailing list here. All right. So that's going to be our long-term business. Now, when someone opts into this email list, what's going to happen is they're going to receive a series of 12 emails. And that's where we're going to make a return on our investment. And B, where we're going to build that long-term relationship. That's where we're going to differentiate really from our competitors. Okay. So at the same time, we also installed WordPress so that we could use TrustJacker. And TrustJacker is a tool that basically allows us to borrow trust from another website. Okay. So that's basically what we've done so far. And now what we want to do, what we have left is kind of putting the pieces together a little bit. Like, for example, answering questions like, why are we using TrustJacker? How are we building our email list? And so on and so forth. And so that's what we're going to do here. And someone's saying, you know, do you really believe you're going to be able to make $2,000 in 3 days? And, Yeah, absolutely. Is it going to be easy, or is it going to be like the funnest thing setting up WordPress? No, but this is what you need to do in order to build a real business online, and that's ultimately what we want to do. And yes, I do really believe that we are going to make $2,000 profit in the next 3 days. So, anytime you feel yourself getting overwhelmed, power through, because these are the key elements. And as day 2, day 3, and day 4 come along, I'll be giving you more advanced tips. So I know some of it seems, I guess, a little basic right now, but that's really because we really need the core elements up and running to get our infrastructure going so we can really start this thing. Does that make sense to you? Okay, great. All right, great. Chris says, wow, if this is basic, I'm in trouble. Chris, don't worry. I mean, don't even let yourself think those things right now. At the end of the day, you can follow this. If you get confused, help is on the way. So don't worry about it. Okay, good. So let's see here. So with that said, let's talk a little bit about the emails. All right, let's talk about the emails. So in the resource file that you should have, there's a resource of a bunch of different emails. All right, so there's a template called Knitting 12 Emails PDF, and that's basically the 12 email format that I'm going to use for any niche that I go into. In this case, weight loss. Okay, so email number 1 basically introduces yourself. So it says, thanks for signing up for the weight loss email marketing campaign. You're getting this email because you signed up wherever, give a link to wherever they signed up. You can download your free gift here. So basically, in this case, we're not going to be giving them the a link to a download. We're going to be giving them the calorie counter and make 90 cents every single time someone downloads that. So do you see what we're doing there? We're inserting a CPA offer there. So that's email number 1. Email number 2 is designed to share a little bit more about yourself. So we're going to write the first 3 emails today, and then we're going to write another 3 emails tomorrow so that we don't overwhelm ourselves. Okay. Email number 2 is just building that personal connection with them. Again, you can take the guru approach or you can take the non-guru approach. Either way, you want to share a story of how you got here. All right. And then email number 3 is basically, again, building trust. If you notice, I typically send you an email every day. The reason I do this is simple. I love to knit, and I'm eager to share my knitting knowledge with you and build a fabulous knitting community. So this is just an example of something I did in another niche. From time to time, I'll give you the opportunity to invest, either stuff I've created or from people who I think offer quality stuff. Okay, so it's very, like, you can literally copy all of this, but instead of saying knitting or knitting patterns, you would say weight loss and exercise, or some other thing related to this particular niche, right? Okay, yeah. So guys, don't worry, you will get a replay tonight as well. Yeah, and Anthony makes a really great point. We only have to learn these skills once, and then they'll serve us for years to come, and that's exactly it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a text edit sheet here. And I don't know why I like to use text edit versus Word. It doesn't really matter what you use. And I'm going to minimize this here. And I'm just going to write email number 1. So email number 1. And you can see how this is a template you can use for your niche. So I'm going to say your gift. Free calorie calculator. Okay. So you can see it's like the exact same format. Instead of knitting, I put weight loss. Subject. Hey, Brittany here. Thanks for signing up to my email list on how I lost 20 pounds and gained 7 pounds of muscle in just a few days. Plus, so thanks for signing up for blah, 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 the particular list. You're getting this email because you signed up at my Facebook, or no, you signed up at my landing page. And I might give the URL again so that they remember that you're not a stranger. Okay. You can download your free calorie counter here. Insert affiliate link. Okay, so that's that. Remember on Ad Angler earlier? Let's go back to Ad Angler. We had that link where we get 90 cents every single time someone downloads that affiliate link. So that's just a general good rule. I always like to look for CPA offers that are, provide value that aren't too scammy or anything like this. This calorie counter is actually pretty cool. Bill saying, can we just copy and paste this in? Yeah, feel free to swipe the technology that I use myself in this the wording in the email. Just obviously edit in your particular niche information. So I haven't been approved for that offer just yet. I'm sure I'll get approved sometime today. And as soon as I do, I'll edit that link in. Until then, I will just use this calorie counter link, the generic one, and go back to here. Okay, so affiliate link. Okay, go ahead and download your gift ASAP. Also, be on the lookout for a special email from me tomorrow titled Personal. So we're telling them what to expect so that they can look out tomorrow. It's very important you open it as I share my extensive experience on how I got started on my weight loss journey. Plus, I share how you can too. Okay? Brittany. So that's email 1, and I'm just so it's clear, I'm literally just copying it from this template, right? And then email 2, subject line, personal. Okay? Hey, Brittany Lynch here again. And I want to share with you some personal details about my life and my experience with weight loss. Okay? Like you, I've been struggling to maintain the perfect weight and body for years. Okay? And you kind of just want to speak to your own experience. I've tried all sorts of fad diets. Some worked, some didn't, but I could never maintain the body that I really wanted. That was until recently. After doing a ton of research online, I came across one trainer, Steve Zim. And actually, this is true. So Steve Zim is actually a trainer that I did discover, and he does have a product as well, so I can actually plug him in, Steve Zim. And so I'll just tell a little bit of a story. He changed my life, and he changed my body, and I've been able to maintain that shape. And basically, for the personal email, you really do just want to share a little bit about your story. And email marketing, especially when it's personality-based marketing, it's all about connecting with the audience, right? It's all about how do you connect with them on a personal level, because that's what's distinguishing yourself from someone else. And that's what's going to build the trust with them, is you're going to share your struggles or your successes or your failures or whatever it is on your particular weight loss journey, or your, whatever journey you're going on and whatever niche you're in. And so you do want to be genuine, you do want to be honest in this particular circumstance, and you're not selling anything here yet. The only exception I will say is in email number 1. So that's this one right here. What I would actually do, I might say, it's very important so here, you can download your free calorie counter here. I might also say, plus, I curated a number of awesome resources, number of awesome actionable articles from around the web. Here are my 5 favorite. And what I would do here is I would actually add 5 Trust Jacker links. So maybe I would actually add 3 Trust Jacker, no Trust Jacker. Okay, so do you know why I would suggest this? It's because it's more opportunity to earn, right? So what you're doing here is you're providing value, you're sending them to a high quality article, and that's the key, is really do go out of your way to find high quality articles here, okay? You really want to find high quality articles here. And then from there, you can insert your offer, so your CPA offer or your affiliate offer through that exit pop. So it gives you 5 additional opportunities to present 5 other offers and increases the likelihood of them opting into one of them without doing it in a threatening way, because they don't know that you've added the exit pops, right? You're still sending a high quality article. And so it's just another way to kind of increase the likelihood that they actually respond. Make sense to you guys? Yes? All right, awesome. Yeah, so someone's saying, so does each trust jacker have to have its own link? No. So let's go back to trust jacker and I'll actually just show you here. Let's see. Okay, so every time you want to create a new campaign, you use the same domain, you would just add campaign. All right, and then you would go find another article from the web, enter the destination URL here, and then your offer, whether it's your ClickBank product or whatever, right? And so you would just continue to do that. So you don't need to install WordPress 5 different times. You just all do it through here. So hopefully that makes sense. So someone's asking why mix trust tracker with no trust tracker links in the email. That's just so that they don't get frustrated that there's so many exit pops. Now, you need to put yourself in the user's shoes, right? And go through the process yourself and say, is it annoying? Is it overbearing? So I'd say like 3 out of 5 times is good. Maybe not all 5 times. Someone's saying, are you going to offer the text file with what you just typed? Yeah, so guys, I'll give you a copy of all the finalized emails that I finished with all the Trust Tracker links so you can follow along on all of those. Okay, so let's see here, just going through here. Okay, so the other question is, someone says, do you always use the exit pop instead of the timed insertion? That's a really good question. And so let me give you another example. So let's find another article on cellulite. Cellulite, New York Times. Let's try to find New York Times article. A new treatment zeroes in on cellulite. Perfect. Okay, so let's grab this URL here. So New York Times is a very credible spot, right? So let's exit that. So we've got the URL. Let's go to Trust Jacker here. Name your campaign. I'm going to call it Cellulite 2 / Cellulite Cure. Okay, so enter in a URL. So we'll get our cellulite product link here. Where is it here? Okay, and instead of entering use redirect, the other option is a pop-up. And it says exit pop only. We can load it on the page after a 15-second delay. And then select save. And let's see, we got the national source / cellulite cure. So let's go there. The national source / cellulite cure. And just watch what happens. So we're at the we're at the New York Times, right? What appears to be the New York Times. And after 15 seconds, what's going to happen is a pop-up is going to pop up on our screen, and it's going to actually be...
My name is Joey, and I'm here to share some very unique and extremely helpful material with you about lower body cellulite reduction in the legs, buns, hips, and thighs. So if you have any bumps, dimples, or uneven skin in those areas, or any...
So you see how it just popped up there? So that's the other option, okay? And so so on something like this, I like to use the popover, and it works really well. And actually, someone brought up a good point. New York Times has an iframe blocker, so you can't use it with the Trust Jacker. So a few sites do, and you just want to check by when you exit the site to make sure they don't have a pop-up blocker. Okay, so Chris says, the other 3 out of 5 articles with Trust Jacker in them, are they different products, promotions, or on the same one? So I would suggest to do 3 different product promotions, so that basically if they are interested in the cellulite one, maybe they're interested in one of the other ones. Okay, so Chris says, do you need to use Trust Tracker in the email, even though you're not trying to get past Facebook rules? So that's a good question. The reason why we're doing that, if we go back to our email copy, and let me go back to it here. If you go back to the email copy, which is here, what we're actually doing is we're trying to provide value. So in the first email, we're not trying to sell them hard. We're trying to build trust. So that's why we're providing 5 high quality articles on different topics related to losing weight. So they're still getting the content, but we're still providing an additional opportunity to make money. So does that make sense to you? Okay, great. All right, so that's email number 1. Email number 2. So let's focus on just those 2 for today, and I'm going to talk to you about how to upload them to Aweber, and then what I'll do is we'll go over the rest of them tomorrow on tomorrow's call so that it's not too tedious. Now, guys, I want to remind you that you're going to get all of the finalized resources on this call so you can see exactly what's going on. So just keep that in mind. You'll be able to mimic it as well. So Rain's saying, is this the creation of the sales funnel? Yeah, that's exactly right. So you want to send them into the opt-in to build your email list, but then you need an email follow-up series to actually start monetizing your email list, okay? Okay, so let's go over to Aweber here. And so now that we have our list created, what we want to do is we want to select messages and we want to select follow-up series. Now, what's the difference between broadcast and follow-up series? Well, follow-up series is an automated process, okay? So what that means is as soon as someone opts in, based on how frequently you decide to email these out, these emails will go automatically. Whereas broadcast is, well, I'm going to send an email to my list now. And you don't schedule it as much. So we're going to select follow-up series. I'm going to select create first follow-up. All right, so here we go. So let's pull up our text edit here. And we're going to go to the top, and our subject line is your gift. Ah, yes, there should be a colon there. Your gift, free calorie counter. Okay. And then we'll just copy and paste it from here. So like I said, I'll get you the finalized versions of these emails so you don't have to sit here and kind of watch me build it all out tediously. As long as you understand, that's the most important thing. Okay. Okay, so guys, really important when you're sending out an email, make sure you hyperlink it so you can track how many clicks you get. So there you go. And then here you go. Okay, so what you would do here is you just select next. Okay, so good question. Alexis is saying, aren't they paying 90 cents for the calorie counter, or is Brittany paying the 90 cents? No, I'm getting paid 90 cents every time they download that calorie counter. So it's free for them to download, but I get paid 90 cents because that company is going to monetize them somehow. Okay, so I'm going to select save and exit. Save and exit. Okay, great. Okay, and then next we want to just select create follow-up because now we want to create the second email in this series. And so this email will be sent out the next day after the previous email. Okay, so let's go to our text edit here. Scroll down. And again, we want to finalize these emails, and I'll send you a copy of them. Okay, so the subject line is personal. Okay. So again, I'll fill in the rest of the story and I'll send it to you guys. You'll like seeing that. And there really aren't any links in this email. You could send a link to another trust jacker, but again, email is all about the long term. So you don't want to abuse your list. You really want to focus on providing value. Okay. Okay, so someone's asking, can you show how to hyperlink again? So you just copy the link and then you press this button and it would, hyperlink whatever that URL is. Okay. Guys, so there's some good questions coming in. Some are appropriate to answer here. Some make sense to answer on the Facebook group. Let's see. Sue says fab. So that's a great question. So Jerry says, when someone opts into the email list, where are they redirected? And so if you find a good offer like the calorie downloader, so let's go back to the opt-in page here. Let's see, edit. You can actually redirect them directly to their free gift by selecting this. And you can see page properties. Where's here? Label text, submit. And you can actually change the redirect information. Down here, I'm just looking for where it went. Just give me a sec, but it's on here, the redirect button. And there is it. I'll come back to this in a sec, but it is on here. You can basically create a redirect. Here we go. Okay, so I was click the submit button. You need to click the email form, and then it says confirmation. And I would just say post from data to URL, or sorry, go to another web page, and then you can paste in the calorie counter here. So this is another opportunity to basically get a return on your investment. Okay, and then you just press save again. So you don't have to do it. You can redirect them somewhere else. But in this case, because we want to make a return on our investment, I would redirect them to that calorie counter. Does that make sense? So you literally just click this button here and then edit in the URL. So what happens is, basically the question is, where after someone enters their name and email, where did they get sent? Okay, so now they would get sent to that calorie downloader, because here it says enter your email address and get access to the free calorie counter. So that's what they're expecting, right? So it's not strange that you're sending them there, because you told them that. You set expectations. And so on your landing page, it's all about setting expectations. Okay, so a redirect basically means when someone enters in their email address here, close this. Basically, here we can do it. They're going to be redirected to that particular page. So after they enter your email address, they'll be redirected to the calorie counter. All right, so you can test it yourself. You can go ahead and go to this page. I'll put it in the chat box, and it will redirect you to the to the calorie counter, and you can use that. Okay, so just going through here and then. Okay, so Brian says, what is the purpose of hyperlinking, and what actually is hyperlinking? So going back to our email here, it basically means that now Aweber will track how many people click on your links, which is important. And also it will automatically send them there. So instead of them having to copy and paste the URL from here and post it into the box up there, it's just more automatic. But the big thing is it helps you count how many clicks are in your email. Okay, great. So that's our email. So guys, again, I'll give you a copy of all of these things. So step 1, we chose our niche. Step 2, we found our offers. Step 3, we built our unbounced landing page to basically build our email list. Step 4 is we installed Trust Jacker, and that was just a way for us to monetize our email list in a less aggressive sales strategy way. And then step 5 is we started adding our email follow-up sequence of 12 emails. We added 2 of them, but I'll send you the final versions of copy that I decide to go with before tomorrow's training. And then, and so we've done all that. So we added it all to Aweber, right? You with me? Okay, great. So we're getting some yeses here. So just enter yes if you're with me. Awesome. And if you're not, that's what the support's for. So we're getting kind of yeses. So great. If you've got to go, that's fine. There's going to be recordings. I know it's a long training. I said today would be a little bit longer. So step 5 is now we actually want to start driving traffic, right? So step 5 is we actually want to start building our own interest list and actually start setting up our Facebook ad campaign. So we actually want to drive traffic to this page to build our email list. In addition, we're also going to try to send traffic directly to some Trust Jacker links to see if we can convert that traffic so that we have multiple methods of converting traffic. Okay, so let's focus on step number 1 right now, or step number 5, if you will, which is let's figure out how we can get a really targeted audience to send traffic here. Okay, so what we talked about before are on a training webinar, I believe that I've done this before. So we're going to go to Google. And we're going to Google keyword planner. And you can basically use this as a way to generate ideas of different interests you can search on. Okay, so Social Leads Freak is a tool that we're using, and we're basically using it to build a list of really high quality audience members. Okay, so let's delete Frank Kern here, and we can just enter the keyword weight loss and see what pages come up. Or, for example, do a brainstorm of, okay, what are the big celebrities in the weight loss category? So that might be, this is the guy from Extreme Weight Loss. Okay, so what's his name again? So I might Google the trainers from Extreme Weight Loss, identify the celebrity trainers that exist out there, and see if they have a fan page. And it's really a process of whittling down. So I'm gonna click this. So we've got weight loss. This page has 154,000 likes, right? But what we don't want to do is we don't want to advertise to everyone who's liked that page, all right? Our cost per click is going to be higher there. We want to actually target less people. So we want to actually click this and select extract comment user IDs only, and actually just extract the few thousand people who've actually commented on that page. So let's actually go to Facebook here and I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so here we are on Facebook, and we're going to Google extreme weight loss. So here's the page that we just saw. Okay, what is this guy's name? Who remembers his name? Someone on here definitely has to remember his name. Chris Powell, there you go. I knew someone would know it. Okay, so Chris Powell would be another good name to search on. So basically, you can see here that 1,323 people like this post. There's 36 shares, but more importantly, there's 39 comments. So would you rather target Donna, who's looking to lose 200 pounds, or just someone who's actually liked this fan page? Well, you definitely just want to target someone who's actually commented on this page because it's going to be much more qualified. And even though it's a smaller audience, your response is going to be much greater. Okay? Makes sense? So that's what the Social Leads Freak tool does, is it basically goes to these fan pages, it extracts people who have commented on that weight loss page or whatever fan page that you're looking to build an audience from, and it allows you to basically get a higher quality audience list. So this page has 490 posts to process. Do you want to proceed? Yes. Okay, so it's just extracting them. It might take a second there. Yes, so Sandy's saying, can you target people who have specifically commented on a certain post? And you actually can. And I'm going to talk to you about that in just a second. Mike says, did you actually just do anything at the Google Keyword Planner? Not yet. So because I know a little bit about weight loss, it's a niche that everyone knows a little bit about. You can basically brainstorm your own ideas of interest lists to search on. But for example, let's take fishing. I don't know anything about the fishing niche, so I might use the Google Keyword Planner in order to generate ideas on keywords to use for Social Leads Freak. Or I would come here and I would enter the keyword fishing and basically build a list that way. Yeah, Jay says there always seems to be between 410 and 460 posts. Have you noticed that? Yeah, it always seems to be in the same vicinity, but honestly, I've seen a lot less too. It depends on the size of the page. So Richard says, when you scale up, would you extract the likers also, or would you just stick to the active commenters? And that's a really good question. I would Well, the best answer is to test. I had the most success with just extracting people who have commented on the fan page. However, I have had success with people who have liked the fan page as well. And absolutely, I've had success. It's just the return on investment isn't as high. And so it depends on the size of your niche. You know, weight loss is such a large niche, you probably don't need to go into the like section. But if you're in fishing, you might. So extreme weight loss. Okay, and then you just keep going. So what's this guy's name again? Chris Powell. Chris Powell. So he's a celebrity in the niche. Let's see if he has a fan page. Okay, there you go. So he's got 366,000 people on his weight loss page. So same thing. I would extract comment. Now, guys, really important what you want to do is you don't want to put everyone in the same Excel spreadsheet. You want to keep the segments separate, okay? So I'm going to select yes. And you basically want to continue to build a number of these different audiences in order to increase the number of traffic that you can drive to this page. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, so David asks a good question. Would you pull user IDs from groups as well? Yeah, absolutely. And so this is where you can actually get into like buyers. So for example, I hate to say it, but what I've done is I've created a buyers group here. So if we go to our mastermind group here, to the mastermind down here, okay? So we've created a mastermind group of basically people who have actually spent money in this category. So you could actually search for this group, and if you're a part of the group, you can extract all the members, and now you have a list of people who are proven buyers in the internet marketing category, and you can market offers to them because you can bet that they're probably going to make you money because they've proven to spend before. Does that make sense? So that's where you would target a group, and I'll show you that in a second. So Colin says, is this legal pulling user IDs? It is legal. It's against Facebook's terms of service, but that's still legal. Facebook just doesn't want you to do it, but yeah, so Sam's saying, so you don't conglomerate the user IDs into one weight loss spreadsheet. You keep them separated. That's exactly right. And the reason is because you might get different results from different groups. Certain groups might respond better to certain offers, okay? So again, marketing's a game of drilling down, and that's very important. Okay, so someone says, where do the extraction leads go in Social Leads Freak? So you'll see it again here. Let's go. This is almost done. So okay, you see how it pops up automatically, and basically you can save into a file folder on your computer. So we'll name that as, what is that guy's name again? It's Chris Powell. Okay, and I'm going to select save. And so you would just keep doing this and doing this and doing this, and it all depends how big of an audience you want and how much you want to scale up and so on and so forth. So I'll do this a bunch of different times. And again, what I'll do is I'll do a recap tomorrow morning of all the segments that I created, and I'll go into my Power Editor and I'll show you all that stuff. But after a certain point, it gets tedious for you to watch. So does that make sense, what I just did there? Darren says, did you just sell us out? Laugh out loud. I know, I hated to do it. So you guys are going to figure it out anyways. This is a buyer's group, right? So what you do is you go to Social Leads Freak, and I'm not encouraging you to extract the people in this group because I value them, but you could do that with any product. So for example, let's take the niche weight loss. Go to the top sellers in that category, Mike Geary, sort of fat loss abs, see if he's got a group. And a lot of people are making groups nowadays for people who have purchased their product. You won't believe how many products have that. And so if you can get added into that group, you can basically extract it. So it's pretty cool. Okay. Okay, so Dita says her social leads freak does not work. So Dita, one thing, guys, the mistake that I was making when I started using social leads freak is I just hovered over it, and I thought that that would make me extract it. So make sure when you're in social leads freak, see how dark this line is. The first line is. That's when you know you're extracting the right column. That's the only way to do it. I know that sounds really obvious, but for some reason, if you move your mouse and you think, oh, I can extract this column, no, you'd be getting the one before it. Okay. Okay, so Michael's saying, so with the Chris Powell leads, where are we sending them? Okay, so we're going to send them to our opt-in page first and foremost, okay? But what we might also test is we might also test sending it to a Trust Jacker link and see how that converts, okay? So let's go to Power Editor here. Okay, and this is a free tool by Facebook. Fred in all caps says, I don't have the link to Facebook to interact. Can you see it in the chat box? If you don't see it there, I will send out another email, so don't panic. Okay, so James says, once you get the extraction list, what do you do? Okay, so this is what you do. You go to facebook.com/ads/manage/power editor. I'll copy it below and post it in here. Okay, and what you want to do is you want to click audiences. Okay, and then you want to select create audience, custom audience, and I'm going to select choose file. And we're basically going to navigate to wherever we saved this information earlier. So Chris Powell, that's the CSV, right? That's the file that came out of Social Leads Freak. Make sure you select user IDs, okay? The default is email. You want to select user IDs and then name this. So I'm going to just call it Chris Powell. And then I'm going to select create. So it's reading all 7,830 user IDs. I ideally would love to have an audience of up to 1 million people, but that are super, super engaged so that they've commented before. Now, that's a big audience. You don't need that many people, okay? You don't, especially if they're really targeted and if you have a smaller niche, maybe only 50 or 100,000 will be fine. You just need to change out the offers more frequently. Okay, so that's basically waiting. It'll take about 5-10 minutes to get it approved. Okay, so someone's saying, can you give another example of searches in the group? So let's go to group. So instead of pages, so we came into Social Leads Freak and we selected pages. I entered Chris Powell and I searched. I could also search the keyword fat and see, or let's say Weight Watchers, right? Weight Watchers is a big brand in this category. So you want to think about brands and celebrities and that sort of thing. Okay, someone says, is it possible to extract the information if you're not a member of that group? You have to actually join the group, and that shouldn't be an issue because let me show you my Facebook. I have I'm a member of 1,000 groups just because I will go to a group and I'll just request to join, and 9 times out of 10, they'll add you into the group. So look at all my groups here, like Mommy, Marketer, like Wicca, I'm part of a ton of different groups, and you can see a lot of Wicca for beginners, Mama Munchkins, and more. There's just a lot of different groups in here that you can add, and you can search them. Like if you want to add yourself to a group, you can do that in Social Leads Freak. So if you go to groups and search weight loss and press search. So the question mark means it's closed. So that means you actually have to go to the group. So select go to group, and it will take you to the group. And you basically have to join the group first. Okay, so I would literally just press join group. And then honestly, like I said, 9 times out of 10, they're gonna let you in. Like they're not cross-referencing the list. Okay. So it's just an extra step, but it's absolutely worth it because sometimes the groups are a lot more valuable because that's often where the buyers kind of hang out. Does that make sense? Okay, great. Just kind of looking at some of these questions here. Yeah, so Eric's saying, so you would just promote individually to each custom audience, right? Yes, that's exactly right. So let's actually go back to our Power Editor here. Okay, so if we refresh this, so you can see Chris Powell's ready now. Okay, so now that audience is ready, and you would just continue to do this. It's like a repetitive process, right? So you would just, every audience that you extract at a Social Leads Freak, you would upload into custom audiences. And then if we actually go to, let's go to facebook.com/ads/create. Okay, what you want to do is you want to select clicks to website, okay? And you would want to get this URL here and then go to here. Okay, and see how that image pulls up? This image may or may not be accepted by Facebook because it's a woman who's almost naked, but I'm going to try it anyways. And basically, when it comes to Facebook ads, all right, this is the important stuff. When it comes to Facebook ads, the higher click-through rate you can get, the lower cost per click you're going to pay. All right. Generally, how do you get a high click through rate? Well, image is one of them because it makes it eye catching, right? So you want an eye catching image. But even more importantly is how targeted is that audience. And I find that if you're using a tool like Social Leads Freak or something like that, that you will get a ridiculously high click through rate because it is a proven audience. Okay, so I might even say something like, these are all people who like Chris Powell, right? So let's just say like Chris Powell. Um, find out how I lost 20 pounds in just days, plus get free calorie calculator. Now, get a free calorie calculator. Okay, so when you're writing the ad copy, what you want to do is, okay, I'm linking back to the segment. So now that's going to catch their eye because I'm talking about Chris Powell, who's their like guru, right? Even though I'm not actually connecting it on the landing page. But then really important, this part, in order to increase conversions on your landing page, should mimic whatever the landing page is. So our opt-in page said something about losing 20 pounds, and it also said get the free calorie calculator. That's going to help with conversion rates, and that's ultimately what you want, right? Is that making sense to you? Fred, I see your comment about sending the link for the group, and I said that I would do that, so please just be patient. It is in the chat box, and I did send it to you privately, and I'll send it again. Just give me a minute. So Mike's saying we don't need a graphic designer to design Facebook ads. Absolutely not. Okay, so David says, David, I see your message. I didn't see your earlier question. I'll come back to that shortly, okay? Okay, so there you go. So that you basically want to flag the custom audience that you're targeting. So for example, if we were targeting Weight Watchers, I would say like Weight Watchers ? And then in the main body, I would talk about what's on the landing page. So that's the general formula. Here I would flag whatever custom audience I'm talking to. And then here I would talk about what the free offer is on the landing page. Now for today, we're only going to select right column ads. And so if you select the right-hand column, you'll see what this looks like. Find out how I lost 20 pounds in just days, plus get a free calorie calculator now. Okay? So I'm going to add the country United States. And here what I'm going to do is I'm going to select Chris Powell, right? Because Chris Powell is the guy who we just uploaded his custom audience. So you can see the custom audience is very small. That's fine. It just means you're going to have a higher click-through rate and a lower cost per click. Now, usually if we kept going, you'll see certain segments would have a much bigger audience. So Weight Watchers is would probably have a bigger audience, okay? And you would just go down here, and I'm going to enter the budget of $5 a day. I'm going to name this. I usually name the ad whatever the custom audience is. I don't know why I can never remember this guy's name. Chris Powell. Okay. And really importantly, what you'd also want to do is you want to set up conversion tracking, and that's very easy to do. I'll show you how to do it in just a second, but first I'll just take some questions here. Okay, so Eddie's saying, can you explain how to mock the landing page with the ad again? So what I mean is, on our landing page, you can see enter your name, or enter your email, it should say, to get access to the free calorie counter. Plus discover how I lost 20 pounds. You guys can all see that, right? Well, on our Facebook ad, we would just want to add the same sort of thing. Right? So we said 20 pounds, calorie counter now. All right, so that's what I mean by mimicking the landing page. Yes, okay. And so since we're just targeting women, we could cross-reference by just narrowing down to just women. So you can see how it reduces the overall audience size because we just want to target women, so we're selecting women, okay? So that's how you would narrow down. You can also adjust the age demographics there, but you don't need to. Okay. Yes, so Dave says, would you test several ads? So I always like to run 2 ads for every campaign. So we'll create a second ad next. And so basically down here, scrolling down, I select optimize for clicks, okay? And that tends to get me a really good cost, like a really low cost per click. I'm also going to run an option of optimize per impression, but I'll get into that tomorrow, all right? So we just want to keep it to the basics today, and then we'll get into adding the layers tomorrow, or the more basics for all of you. Okay. So you can go ahead and select place order down here. Just want to review all this stuff. Make sure we got it all right. I'm going to look at the questions here. That's right. We're only going to run a right-hand side ad today. We'll get into newsfeed ads tomorrow. And no, we don't have separate Facebook page. So we're driving this traffic to our opt-in page. And okay. Just going through questions here. Okay, guys, if you're having trouble with Power Editor, it is a Chrome extension. So just download Chrome and you'll be able to use that. Dave Ryan says, why are you adding countries with custom audiences? Well, the answer is that with custom audience, you can actually just, so for example, if you only wanted to target Canadians, you could say something like Chris Powell and live in Canada. Like you could make it more specific, just like you can cross-reference by men and women and all that too. So it's just a whittling down process. Okay, so I'm going to run a second ad with this campaign as well. So basically what I do is I run a low dollar campaign, so about $5 for this size of audience. But if we start to reach our daily budget of $5, you can increase it to $10. Okay. And then if you just go to the top, I'm going to take off social activity. We're going to take that out. I'm just going to do, let's see, headline, text, right column, Canada, United States. I selected Chris Powell. I named the campaign, Chris Powell, $5. And I'm going to select place order. All right. So we're just letting that place the order. Your order's been placed. Press continue. Okay, so usually what I would do next is, now that we've dropped that down, I'm going to go ahead and select create a similar ad. And basically that opens up the same page here. And usually what I do is I would just try a different image. Okay, because again, image tends to be the thing that changes click-through rate the most. And so I usually split test 2 ads against each other to see which has a higher click-through rate, because again, click-through rate is very important when it comes to Facebook advertising. So I would just go to Google and I would find another image. This actually looks like a good image. Again, you would want to make sure that you have the rights to that image. So let's Google cellulite. and use this image. Facebook doesn't normally like before after photos, so we'll use this one. Okay, and then you would just come back down and you'd select placed order. Just again, show advanced options, erase newsfeed. We'll talk about newsfeed tomorrow. We're just going to focus on right column today. And there's one thing that I want to clarify. When I created this campaign, I select website clicks. What you should really be doing is selecting, hold on, let me show you. Ads, create is website conversions, because then you can track the conversions as well. And it's very, very easy to do. So website conversions, let's enter the URL again. And basically, you want to select a conversion pixel. Okay, so that's one, but I'm going to create a new tracking pixel. Very easy to do. I'm going to select create conversion pixel. Then name conversion pixel on Facebook. Let's name it weight loss. Category lead, create pixel. Okay, so this is so easy. You just post it into the Unbounce page. So let me just make sure I'm not missing any questions here. So yeah, people asking, are you going to get into more detail about targeting buyers and getting more advanced in Facebook ads? Absolutely. Tomorrow we're going to get into even more detail. And to clarify, John says custom audience said 6,800 or so, but Social Leads Freak said it was only 468. That's actually not true. What Social Leads Freak said was there's 468 posts on that page. However, there were 6,800 people who commented on that post. Do you see the difference there? So Geraldo's saying, is it okay to use celebrity names? Aren't they like trademark or something weird? Yeah, I mean, if you have any like serious legal questions, ask for your lawyer, because I'm not a lawyer. I've never gotten in any trouble with it, so I wouldn't worry about it. But I mean, there's how many Chris Powells in the world? They're not all celebrities. You could be named Chris Powell for all they know. Okay, just going through these questions here. Yes, so you want to post this pixel on a thank you page. And so that's the only thing we talked about earlier on Unbounce, right? So if you remember, we actually created a redirect to the download form for the calorie counter. Now, why we would want to modify that now if we want to track your conversions, which you should, is because you would want to direct this to a thank you page where you could post this code. So let me try to show you in a really easy way that's not going to overwhelm you. Okay? And what I'll do after this is I'll summarize the steps on Facebook. Okay, so I would just put the very most basic thing possible, click through minimalist desktop light, and I just call it thank you, weight loss. Save and start editing. Basically, I would delete almost all of this. I would just say, thanks for opting in into my mailing list. I'm looking forward to sharing the calorie counter with you. Please check your email now to download the calorie counter. Okay? And let's see. You could just play around with the font and all that stuff. But basically, you delete everything else here. Super basic. You could resize all of this. Again, I'll play around with all this a little later, but you get the point of how to use this. It's really easy. And And I'll show you the final pages this evening or before tomorrow's training. And we'll talk about what I changed and all that. But again, just deleting all this stuff. Okay, so you see down here where it says JavaScript, and on Facebook earlier, you can see that this copy this conversion pixel code between the head box. Okay, so we copy all of this, and we go back to our page, JavaScript, and it says before body end tag. That's right, before body end tag or after body tag. And you paste that in and you select done, and Facebook will actually tell you if it's tracking. Okay, so we're going to select save. Obviously, this is ugly. You'd want to kind of play around with this a little. Save, exit, publish page. Okay, so now this page is done. So why do we have a thank you page? That is so we can track how many people from each campaign, each audience segment actually opt into our landing page. So it's just more advanced optimization, and we'll go over the results of that tomorrow. So you can see this is the page here. Again, we want to play with the font a little because it's a bit ugly. So you would basically go back now to pages, to the fat loss one. Select edit. And instead of clicking this email link, instead of sending them to Calorie Downloader, you would send them to this page and then press save again and republish it. And that's important. Don't forget to republish this page. Republish page, that just updates everything. So now we're able to track conversions. So if we go to back to our Facebook, we'll press close. So you can see weight loss is actually active now. So you can tell that that is actually tracking just fine. All right. So now that that's all active, we'll just refresh this page here. And let me make sure that I haven't confused anyone here. So don't let the pixel code confuse you. That was actually a relatively easy step there. But you just want to basically track your conversions. You want to know where your traffic's coming from, who's opting in from what segment, and so on and so forth. And so we'll make this really clear for you. Like I said, in Facebook After All, kind of recap the steps, and we'll make sure that all the pieces come together. So you can see your pixel weight loss is currently active. Make sense to you? Does that make sense, guys? Okay, perfect. Okay, so that's exactly right. It's fairly easy. You basically just want to track your conversions because that's going to be what leads to the optimization. So you just press continue, and you would set up the same method that we did before. You would add your copy as you did here. You would select your custom audience down here, Chris Powell, enter your countries, select women, and enter in the name of the campaign. Select your budget around $5. It's optimizing for conversion, so that will show up in your tracking. Okay? A few people are saying I could use a checklist. Absolutely happy to do that. And yeah, we'll show results. And so that's exactly right. So tomorrow, what we're going to go over, we've had a pretty full day today. So your homework assignment for today is to, if you don't have a niche yet, choose your niche. Okay. Then select at least 10 offers. You can start with 3. 3 is kind of the minimum, but ideally 10. And then what you're going to want to do after that is build your landing page, install TrustJacker, and set up your first ads. All right. And again, I'll type up this homework assignment. I'll post it in the Facebook group, as well as send out an email so that you're clear and you understand it. And tomorrow when we get on the call, we're going to really piece this all together. I'm going to update you on just some of the tweaks that I've made offline, which is basically just creating more segments, creating more ads so that we have the traffic going to which place we want. And we'll recap all of that tomorrow so that you don't miss anything and you really understand everything that's going on. Yeah, exactly. And follow up email sample. I'll include all of the stuff that you need in order to follow on exactly what we're doing. Okay, so guys, I'm going to take some questions here. I just want to take some questions about what's core to what we spoke about today. All right, so if you have questions, definitely enter them in. I'm happy to answer them. So Kirk says, can you create a direct link ad? Yes. What I would do though is I would actually send traffic to a trust jacker campaign rather than to a direct linked campaign. So I would send them to like that cellulite page earlier. Summer says, Brittany, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, guys, I'm going to get you all of this today. Dave says, wow, a lot of information today. Johnny says, thanks, really need that summary. So guys, how have you enjoyed this so far? Have you enjoyed it? I know it's a lot to take in depending on the level you're at. Tomorrow, we're going to go into even more detail, just kind of connecting the dots as much as possible and updating you on where we're at. Awesome. Getting a lot of really great comments. I appreciate it. So that's really good. Awesome. Okay, so ton of comments. And so what I'll also do, and I'm going to get Karen to help me with this because there are so many questions. So first things that I want to iterate is no matter where you're at right now, whether you got everything I did or you still have some question marks, know that there is someone there to answer your questions either through the Facebook group or actually reaching out to me directly. All right. So that's important. The second thing is if we don't answer your question here or I missed it accidentally somehow, I'm going to go through all these questions and create a frequently asked question guide as well and get that to you as well. All right. As well as step-by-step information on the Facebook group. So bear with me. I'll also get the recording out ASAP. I know that it's been a long day and the recording will be about 4 hours. And so with that being said, it will probably take about 4 hours to render it and upload as well. So I need to go back and edit that probably because of the image. Let's actually take a look at this. Leave this page. So let's see why that probably the reason why that wasn't approved is because of the image. Yeah, so it says idolized physical image. So see that image that we used? We're gonna have to change this image to something that's less fit. So basically a less fit person, maybe just a picture of a woman's face. So we'll come back to that as well. Okay. Since Bill says it's been very informative, it seems like it can be fun as well. It definitely can. Okay, let me go through here. Okay, so a lot of great comments. So do you use stock images or just free Google ones? And that's a good question. And I actually do prefer to use stock images. So let me show you a really good example of a stock image website. So let's go to istockphoto.com. You can get images for about $1. They're a lot higher quality than the free Google Images one. So you can enter in woman. And so that image was not approved by Facebook, but probably an image like this would be approved. Or actually, see this picture of the pink girls? That actually might be interesting because that's realistic, right? And so I would go back and find someone who looks fit but not too fit because we don't want an idolized image. So iStock Photo is a great resource for that. So Brian's saying, do we use the same registration link for tomorrow and Sunday's training, or will we get a separate email invitation? Yes, it is the same one. I will be in contact with you absolutely today. There's still a lot of tweaks for me to do. I've got to get you your homework assignment on the Facebook group. I'm going to get something to eat after this, but I will be online on the Facebook group and responding as well. Eric says, great job, Brittany. Your patience is inspiring. No problem. I'm happy to help. Guys, again, like I said, my goal is really, no matter what your level, whether you're a complete beginner or more advanced, my goal is to make sure you make money with this system. And so be patient as we put together the building blocks. I promise it will pay off. Okay, if we have an existing WordPress, can we just put Trust Jacker in there? Yes, you don't need a new WordPress. That's a good question. So Charlie's asking, where's the link for Social Leads Freak to sign up? I'll put that in the Facebook group because I don't have it off of the top of my, whatever the expression is. Yeah, so 1 campaign and 2 ads per campaign. Josh says, awesome stuff here, broken down in its simplest form. Thank you. You're welcome. Happy to do it. Okay. Allison says, how many times are you allowed to have your ad disapproved before they close your account? That's a good question. I've had my ad disapproved a bunch of times, and it usually comes down to claims. Like weight loss is one of those categories where you have to be careful, as is internet marketing. But for example, if you're in the fishing category or the knitting category or whatever, you're really rarely going to ever run into that problem. Yeah, so tomorrow I've got some really cool stuff. Kirk's saying, will you show us a t-shirt campaign tomorrow? And I will. I'm actually really excited for tomorrow's training because I think that you're going to have a good sleep tonight thinking about all this stuff. I'll get you the recap of everything we did in a homework assignment. Tomorrow what we'll do is we'll log on. I'm just going to put the puzzle pieces together a little bit more, connect the dots of what I did, what other campaigns I launched or segments I used, and just kind of repetitive stuff. Show you all that, and then I'm going to show you some more advanced micro-targeting stuff that you're going to love. Recording will be in the face group area, as well as I'll send an email about it. Cheryl says, this is not a get-rich-quick scheme, is it? Work is involved. I know it's shocking that there's a real internet marketing course, but I mean, yeah, of course work's involved, and you can't be afraid of it because the reality is this, if you do want to build a passive income stream and you do want to start making more money, you can't be afraid of a little bit of work, all right? And as far as work goes, the amount of money that you can make from the system, it's so not proportionate for the amount of work you put in. So there is a little bit of work involved in the beginning, but it's going to pay off. And that's really what separates the people from actually make this happen and actually make money is actually by following and putting that work in. Jimmy says, very good content and great first day. Is it tomorrow already? Feels like it, doesn't it? Yes, I will post tonight's assignment in detail. Absolutely. And I will accept everyone. So I'm just looking for any more questions. So someone's saying, okay, so this is where the Facebook mastermind group is going to be really helpful. Someone's saying, can I get someone to help me install TrustJacker using my domain? I'm sure someone in there will either help you for free or maybe they've got a tech service or something like that. So it is actually really easy to install. You just need to be patient. Leslie says, this is very awesome, Brittany. I'm just a little overwhelmed being a newbie, but I can see the great potential. The key is, and I find this is just don't let yourself be overwhelmed. I know it can be easy to do that, but the reality is the steps are all here in front of you. You can make it happen, and you know that there's help here if you need it. All right? Okay, so let's see. Take a few more questions here. Chris says, can you come by my house and help? Free dinner. Well, I am probably as close to the North Pole as I can get right now, so I don't think I'll be able to make it, but I'm sure someone around there will be able to help you, and the Facebook group will help you as well. Okay, so there's a lot of really good sessions. Tomorrow's session will, I thought that we would get more done today, but given how many questions there are, we got less done, so I've got more to do tomorrow. So I'd say tomorrow's session will realistically be about the same length. But what I'll do at the end of each session, I'll recap everything in detail. I'll give you your homework assignment. Guys, I will be on the Facebook group answering questions today. Don't freak out if I don't get back right away. Girls got to eat, so bear with me, but I definitely will answer them. So Sandy says, I have enjoyed this. I bought so many products that left out pieces. Thanks for putting the puzzle together for me. No problem. I'm happy to do it. Okay, so yes, I absolutely will accept everyone into the mastermind group. Lorena says, can't imagine what tomorrow's like. Stoked. So Michelle says, should we do what you did today and report back to you tomorrow? Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to recap everything. I'm going to give you a clear, concise homework assignment. And like I said, if you have questions, ask in the group. I will answer them. The next hour and a half I'll be out eating, but I will answer after that. Dave says, I've definitely earned dinner today. Well, that's good. I'm happy to hear it. Yeah, so Christopher says making a few $100s a day shouldn't be hard with some optimization, but will you show us how to scale traffic with Facebook? Yeah, we will. I will show you that as well. So that'll be more like day 3 and day 4 as well as the follow-up webinars. Cynthia says, this is the best training I've ever seen. I appreciate that. Rosalind says, well worth the money. Guys, that really does mean a lot to me. Like I said, this is probably the last internet marketing course I do. And so my goal really is to make sure you have success with this. So let's leave it at that. What I'm going to do is, I know there's still some questions I might have missed. I'm going to accept everyone into the Facebook group. I'm going to recap the homework assignment and the steps. And then I'm going to step out just for a little bit to grab some food, and then I'll be back, and I'll be online checking on the group all day. Plus, it will give you a chance to really interact with your fellow members. There's already a lot of people stepping up there as really helpful community members, which is awesome to see, and that's why I created the group. So once again, really, really hope you're enjoying this. I'm going to be online to answer your questions. I'm going to create a clear, concise guide following up. Okay, so have a really good day. The replay will be up soon as it's edited. The sooner I get off, the sooner we'll get it rendering and uploaded, but I'd say about 4 hours or so. And Fred B, let me answer this. So let me show you where the group is one last time, guys. So facebook.com/groups/mastermindlookin. Okay, so I'm going to enter this in here into the question chat box. So Fred, can you see the URL in my screen? That's where the group is. All right, awesome, guys. So that's got the group. I'll accept everyone into that group now. Definitely start interacting with each other. I mean, there's so much value that can be extracted from the community alone. Ask your questions there, and you'll probably get an answer even before I'm done lunch. But I will be back, and I will be there for you, and I will be recapping and getting you all the materials. So I'm looking forward to it. So have a really good afternoon. I'm definitely going to be back online shortly within the group, and tomorrow is going to be even better. So have a really great day, and I'll talk to you soon.